Hello.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
All right.
Good.
No snow yet, so I'm good.
Yeah, just wait.
Yeah, I know. It's tonight. So, unfortunately.
Winter is coming.
Looks like John answered. That's maybe not. All right. Yeah, we talked a little bit about. Well, we're missing some people today. So we have Alex out, Alekov's out, and John is a maybe. So I wasn't really sure exactly what we wanted to do today. Like I said, I threw out some ideas, like old dudes in the future, thinking back about how their clones lived their lives, the original you lived your life. I thought about having you guys maybe do a virtual reality sort of thing. And we could do dreams. So we have a couple possibilities here today.
I don't know. What do you? So what's the other guys? Any preferences or what?
I mean, we could do all three, I guess, if you want. You know, well, what the heck? We'll start out old dudes in the future. You're hanging out on a space station that is revolving around Neptune.
Okay.
It was a recent construction in the last 5 years, and you are pick a number, the number of clones that have been between you and your original self. So you can piece together things that happened in their lives. We'll say that you bumped into each other at the space station by happenstance. You just all happen to be in the same place at the same time. You haven't seen each other for a while, and we could just talk about the things that you thought of or the memories that you have from previous lives that have been loaded into your flesh. There's some strange lights flickering on the walls of various colors. There's some holograms and things that are dancing on the walls. There's several bots that are about 2 or 3 feet high that are moving around, passing out hors d'oeuvres. It seems like there's a celebration that this place has just opened. So they try to get people here with, you know, basically bribes, you know, free stay, free drinks, discounts, no taxes on any deals that go down here. So there's lots of people here. The space station itself sort of is a cylindrical cone that's upside down. So the sharp point of the cone is at the bottom, and the surface of it is mostly flat. And there's all kinds of docks and spaceports all along the sides of it. So if you think of like a giant gray space carrot without the green stuff on top, that's kind of what it looks like. Nice. Various levels, and you know, there's certain places that are off limits. But you're in a common area. You can see the transparent alloys out the window. The rift is still there, glowing a vibrant blue. And we'll just say that you're all, I don't know, you want to be sitting at the table, you want to be sitting at the bar.
Theo will be at the bar.
Okay.
And he'll be chugging down some very hard drinks.
Yeah, Colt will most likely be sitting and looking out into space.
Okay, and Cat, he'll just be actually entering the bar, and kind of standing off to the side at the entrance, kind of looking at everything with kind of a look of disgust on his face for some reason. Doesn't look too pleased.
There's a bouncer that is breaking up a fight in the back, and he has this young kid that's half cybernetic, and he's dragging him by his leg. The kid's like banging his arms on the various chairs that are on the way out, and you can tell that he's obviously very intoxicated, and he gets hurled out into the hallway right beside you. And stay out!
Okay. Kazuko looks at you said he's pretty young, right? Was that?
Yeah, younger kid, maybe like
okay.
16, 17.
Okay, he looks down at him and reaches down, holds his hand out for the kid to pick himself up.
He kicks your hand. I don't need no help.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
Old bastard like you ain't touching me.
Okay.
I don't know how many times you wiped your ass with that hand. Oh, you probably stink, too. Ugh.
All right.
I don't want to touch your old man's skin. Screw that.
Okay, that's fine. He'll retract his hand, and kind of sneer down at the guy, and
probably piss yourself too.
He ignores him. He walks in. He just walks in. He won't be drawn into that drunken nonsense. And he looks around the room, gazing at all the revelry that's going on. Everyone's kind of enjoying themselves and having a great time on the tab of the station's officials or whatever. It's on their tab anyway, so everybody seems to be having a great time. And he kind of peers through all the drunken stupor to see if he sees any familiar faces that stick out to him. So he's kind of just looking around right now. I'll pass it over to the other guys.
David, you seem to have some feedback.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Let me hang up and then let me call back, okay? See if it gets better. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, it was sort of like loud feedback there. It was kind of strange. You still there, right here, and Phil?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, what kind of freaky picture John has on his profile.
Yeah, that's Chip. That's what Chip looks like.
Seriously?
That's what Chip looks like right there.
Oh man, I'm so happy I placed those explosives into his neck. Oh.
Yeah, for those that are listening, he's bald and I don't know, he has a sort of a wide face with like bright eyes. The skin's like kind of strangely pale, and I guess he has like little scratches and scars all over the side of it.
Ugh. Yeah, somebody you would like to meet in a dark alley. Oh, hello, sir.
Oh.
First, I can tell you what the time is.
So Kazuko's standing at the doorway, just looking around, sort of moving in.
Can you guys hear me any better now or no?
I think so. If it becomes a problem, we just ask you to mute.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay.
It's okay.
All right. So after kind of ignoring the drunken guy in the doorway or out front, he walks in, looking at all the revelry and everyone having a great time, and he starts scanning the crowd to see if he sees any familiar faces, and I guess what he'll do is, since he actually sees Theo sitting at the bar, slamming down drink after drink, apparently, by the nature of the empty. I guess there's a few like shot glasses in front of him that are empty, and Kazuko walks over to him. Oh, and one other thing. One other thing. Let me kind of describe. He's dressed in actually a type of business suit. Okay, it looks very crisp and very immaculate. So there is definitely a corporate vibe about him as he walks up to Theo.
You'll notice that Theo is. It looks like he's in the engineer suit, except this time it has a lot more stuff just clinged onto it, and there appears to be more gadgets fixated to him. Towards his right eye, there's a large metal piece that circles around it and curving around to the side. And as you approach, you'll notice him just popping down drinks, and he'll slam one of them on the table. He'll look at the bartender and goes, Bartender, come on, another supernova. Keep them coming.
Sir, that's your 10th today. Don't you think you've had enough?
I'll tell you what I've had enough. Back in my day, all right?
Oh, yeah. Whatever. Here you go. Just shut up. I don't want to hear any more stories.
All right. That's how you get the drinks going.
In fact, he mixes like 3 of them and just plops them down in front of you and just kind of shakes his head and walks to some other patron at the bar.
he'll take a swig of one and he'll make this really sour face and he goes, ah, yeah, that's the stuff. So he'll turn to his right and look towards you, Kazuko, and he'll say, either I'm too drunk, or you're some sort of strange hallucination. And he'll like twirl his finger around it as he says that.
Kazuko kind of takes a step back just to be out of like grubby finger range, you know, and he'll kind of look down his nose at Theo, and he'll kind of shake his head, and he'll raise a finger towards the bartender, and he'll order 2 strong black coffees.
Coffee? Oh, sure. Yeah. Hey, Marion. Yeah, go over. Yeah, no, shut up. Go over there, get some coffee, and bring it back in here, okay? We have a gentleman here.
Okay, he kind of leans on the bar a little bit and looks at Theo, and he says, "What's become of you?"
What? Oh, all kinds of things have become of me. Why, I've been fixing stuff left and right, and it's pretty lively. You want a supernova? He'll slide the drink over to you.
Okay. I'll look at it. He'll kind of just study it for a moment, and then he lets out a long sigh, and he says, since the episode that we all went through so long ago, I hope this hasn't been your only way of finding purpose in your life, is to drown yourselves in synthol day in and day out.
Oh, no, this is just my morning routine. This is just to get myself up and ready for the busy day ahead. It's pretty, and he'll swig another one as he says this. As he slams it on the ground, not on the ground, but on the counter, he'll look towards it. I've got pretty prominent positions for what I'm doing. I'm busy left and right with all kinds of set rules and telling initiate cogs what to do all the time.
The last I heard, you were on the run. What? That was one of the reasons why I figured that each of us ended up going our separate ways, because of what he kind of stops and kind of rubs his eyes, you know, like he has some kind of like a migraine almost, you know, and he says, just everything that happened, you know, I figured that it was best for us to go our separate ways anyway, but I never figured I'd come back and see you in this type of state.
The placid look on his face suddenly turns serious. Then he'll turn to look to you, and you'll notice his left arm this time. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't have the luster and shine that it used to. It's now looking a little bit rusty, a little not degraded in terms of low maintenance, but it looks it doesn't have that same shine to it that would almost be associated with youthful brilliance. It's now a little bit duller.
Okay.
He'll turn to you. Well, we've all been on the run. It's been a long time. Sometimes I get tired of running. I had to find a place to set down for a little while. I figured if I changed my name, it might stop. But it didn't. Then he'll start like twirling his finger on the edge of the glass a little bit. Kind of look like he's lost in thought now.
Okay. Kazuko nods, and he says, they told me that actually everyone else was dead, but I didn't believe it. I agreed to go through all the retraining and all of the reconditioning, but there was no way that they could bury the memories of what we had gone through.
They'll do anything to bury those memories. What we know would shatter entire empires. But who's going to listen to us now? There's a bunch of old men washed up, lost out here in the drift, with just a couple of small fish in a rather large and yet empty pond.
Kazuko kind of looks up into the mirrored wall behind the bar, and through the pulsing lights and everything, he kind of looks past his reflection, kind of actually through his eyes, which are artificial, and he'll actually see sitting at a table, excuse me, not too far behind us, actually. I guess, who do we see back there? We see the doc.
Yep.
Okay.
He's sitting there staring into space. He looks older, but not as old as he should be.
Kazuko will nudge Theo rather, sorry. And he'll turn around and he'll point through the crowd towards the doctor and start walking towards the table.
Theo will turn around and say, "Well, I'll be. If it isn't the butcher." And he'll also join him and walk over there.
Are there seats to...
Oh yeah, he's got a table all to himself. He looks proper, and but not very common clothing. He looks a little bit eccentric.
Doctor, may we join you?
He looks up and doesn't seem at all surprised to see you, and says, "Kazuko, hey, I was wondering when you'd come. Sit down."
Kazuko kind of hesitates, and he kind of, wonders over what the doctor just said and finds that very interesting, that he actually has no idea really how he came to know for some reason that some of his past comrades would be here. And he pulls out a chair and sits down, kind of looking at the doctor intently, trying to see if there's any kind of hint or clue or glimmer that, can this really be him? Are we really all here? He's kind of staring at him intently.
Theo will take the chair and he'll turn around the opposite way and send it in the wrong way. And just sit down, his arms leaning up against the table.
Theo, he extends his hand to you. How are you? You see his right hand, which you guys will probably remember to be robotic, now looks completely human.
Oh, that's some nice plush job you got there.
Isn't it? He shakes your hand, or do you take his hand?
Oh, yes, definitely.
You'll immediately sober up and poof, what the hell? Where's my buzz? He shakes it and says,
very nice.
Good to see you, buddy.
I hate it when you do that.
Old habits die hard, my friend.
Speaking of old habits, what's the odds on all of us coming together?
Pretty big.
I've come to find that things usually happen for a reason. We just may not be aware of why.
Damn right on that.
As he looks around over his shoulder.
You guys think that you're the oldest people here, probably by about...
Yeah. No, we're not those guys. We're the old guys.
You're probably 20 or 30 years older than the most other old people here. There's lots of teenagers and 20-somethings running around. How old do you guys appear to be?
Colt will probably be be looking like in his mid-40s.
Theo's going to look like he's going to be in his towards his late 50s, I'd say.
Yeah, I was gonna push. I would guess I am the old guy. I was pushing like 60.
Oh, push it, man. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, but the weird thing is that you really see it in his, his eyes look really kind of, he has a kind of tired, weary look about his eyes, and then his hair is very, extremely gray. So he really looks like the years have not been kind. And the doc may even notice that there may actually be some signs of like cellular atrophy or whatever. He doesn't look too good.
The doctor will probably look at you, and as he looks at you, you see his eyes are a different color than, if you even remember the color of his eyes, but they seem unnatural. And as he looks at you, you actually see him blink, but not with his normal eyelids. Behind his eyes, they're like this little skin moving over his eyes. As he looks at you, you should get an update, my friend.
Kazuko kind of leans in, and he says, "I'm afraid my days of updates are behind me. If I were to turn myself in to my superiors, I'd probably be terminated, if anything."
Well, then it's good we ran into each other.
I had a feeling that we'd be able to meet here, and I'm just assuming that it's probably the last time that I'll get to speak with either of you. So I figured it was very important for me to make it here. I mean, it's the least thing I can do, considering what we've been through.
Yeah. He'll pick up his empty glass and kind of sip from it. It doesn't seem to be anything in it, but whatever he believes is in it, he enjoys. He likes. Puts down his glass again. You guys have any idea where the others are?
Not a clue.
So you haven't been in touch?
I actually was to meet up with the captain, actually.
Oh yeah, the captain.
Come on, this is serious. I was to meet up with the captain some time ago, as he was actually commanding his own ship once again. But apparently, from what I was told, the assignment that he and his crew were on was of the utmost importance, and because of my lack of proper security clearance, I wasn't actually able to talk to him, unfortunately. This was some time ago, of course, and that was the last I had heard of him before my untimely disconnect with the corporation.
Disconnect. Wow. That must be hard.
You have no idea. After my reintroduction, things just never really seemed to go right. I was having a lot of problems readjusting to many of the typical Gungeon ways, and I allowed them to try to fix me, because obviously I was damaged in some way. And
Wait, so
he looks.
you
Yes.
actually went back?
Even though I
thought
never
you
really,
were gone.
even though I never really talked about it very much, I was always considered to be an outsider in my society. Even though I tried my best to fit in as best as I could, and of course live up to my parents' expectations of me, things never quite turned out the way I wanted to, and I just always felt as if after having considered you guys and the crew as somewhat of an extended family of sorts, once we all went our separate ways, I kind of just felt, and he kind of looks at Theo, kind of adrift. And so I really had no other choice but to go back. He kind of folds his hands in front of him, and he kind of sighs, and he says, going back may have been both one of the worst decisions of my life and maybe one of the best at the same time.
At this time, Marianne brings a couple cups of coffee over and a few more supernovas, and she looks at the doctor. And you, sir, would you want anything else to drink? Something to eat, perhaps?
I'm fine, thanks. He raises his glass and brings it to his mouth and again sips from an empty glass and good stuff.
Suit yourself. If you need anything, just holler.
Kazuko looks at Theo and he says, why don't you have what the doc's having?
Because supernovas help me wake up and stay focused. He'll run his gloves through his short gray hair now, and he'll look over at you. You know, they can't fix what was never broken.
Damn right.
Yeah, well, when your entire life you've been told how you're supposed to think and act and feel, how you're part of a hub in the huge machine, and actually your place in society has already been decided for you before you're born. You have to realize that it's really difficult to think otherwise. And that's why I always had a soft spot for the captain, because I really believe that no matter what the situation was, and no matter how big of an ass he was being, he was always doing it, for the betterment of the crew, the group. At least that's what I kind of think.
He was also doing it because of his honor.
True.
That honor that was so drilled inside of his mind, like the sword he carried.
Kazuko will raise his coffee cup up, and he'll say, to the captain.
I'll raise a supernova to that.
I'll raise an empty glass to that. And,
may he still be making medals wherever he may be. Take a swig of coffee.
Yeah. That was one hell of a man. But I told you once, Kazuko, and I'll tell you again. You're too good for those guys.
Kazuko turned to the doc. He'll say, Doc, that I appreciate that. But I'm taking a risk even being here with you guys. I figured that since there's so many people here and so much activity going on, that this may be, the best place and the best time to actually have this chat with the two of you. And I only wish that the rest of the crew could have been here as well.
Who says they're not?
Wow, okay. Kazuko kind of looks surprisingly at the dock and goes, shakes his head.
I mean, there are different ways of being somewhere. Physically, mentally, spiritually. I point at you, at Kazuko, and say, you taught me that. Especially the spiritual part. Open doors for me, my friend. Open doors.
Yeah, that was one aspect that I had to keep buried down deep inside as well. They tried to rip it away from me.
Of course. It's your strength. They fear it.
No, you can't fight the tide forever.
I find that hard to believe. Really?
Yeah. Look at it. All the stuff we've done. All the people we've saved. All the bastards we put down. It didn't make a damn bit of difference. Here we are. A couple of old, washed-up old men on the run. Society trying to, and he'll use air quotes, integrate us back into their respective worlds. Nothing ever changes. Not unless you're at top.
You don't necessarily need to be on top.
That's where the movers and shakers are.
Nah. They think they're on top, but if you're everything around them, you can decide if they're on top or bottom or the side or diagonal. It doesn't matter. Oh man, this is some strong stuff.
Kazuko kind of looks at Theo again, and then he looks back at the doc and he goes, "Doc, what are you drinking?"
Life.
Ah.
Theo will shake his head severely. He'll be like,
I am speechless. David and Kazuko.
So which version of you guys are you on?
I have no idea. I honestly don't know. I guess they thought it was best for me not to know for some reason. Maybe they think I'd freak out if I knew or something, but I'm not sure. What about you, Theo?
number 8.
Wow.
Wow.
You'll actually notice that he'll look at his arm now and he'll kind of rub it, and you'll notice that there are 8 notches on it.
That's pretty good, yeah. Like knife cuts or what?
They look to be somewhat etched in, with like a sort of like a heated instrument.
Have either of you noticed any kind of loss of any kind of memories, or am I the only one?
No, every time you keep coming out of there, it feels like there's a piece of you missing. Sometimes really? I kind of wish that, and he'll kind of adjust himself in his seat a little bit and kind of stare down. He'll say, "Sometimes I wish I didn't get cloned back."
You're funny.
How do we even know that? How, are we? Can we be sure that there's none of the originals still walking around?
I often wondered that, and I really don't know. It's really hard to tell anymore. Heck, I don't even know if all this is real nowadays.
Well, from what I remember, things have changed quite a bit.
As you guys are talking, A she merchant comes into the place. It has a sort of wrong look to it. It floats and drifts. It has like a gray shade of skin, almost looking like dolphin hide, like a blue-gray in color, and yet slick and damp. It has 3 elongated fingers on either hand that are sort of human-like. They have, well, there's 2 of them. They have silvery armor over most of their faces and torso, and you can see where the 3 black eyes stare out from the covering that they have. The trilobite-looking mouth is sticking out of the bottom of the covering, and you can see the various bony plates that are on their upper torso and abdomen. Their diamond-shaped tail is floating about 6 inches off the ground, and you've never really gotten over the way that they move. They just drift. There's this cold fluorescent light that seems to emanate from them. And the reason you can tell they're merchants, they're dressed like merchants. They have various suitcases and various things along with them. They just look like they've been around. Their outfits are a little bit dirty and worn on the edges. They don't seem like they're very wealthy. They seem like they're just making it by. They drift over to the bar. You'll see the stools move without them even touching them. And they just sit there and tap on the counter, and they look at the bartender, and then drinks appear in front of them when the bartender gets around to it. But you notice the bartender seems to ignore the rest of the clients there. Seems like he's just standing in front of them, serving whatever they want. And they're called floaters. It's like a demeaning term.
Well, there goes the neighborhood.
I remember 50 years ago when we made first contact.
Oh, yeah. I was so impressed by them. I guess part of me still is.
I had nightmares about it.
Nightmares? Why?
Because they're aliens. For the longest time in our entire history, we have only known that there was only human life. And out of the blue, there they come, along with the Quay.
Yeah, the Quay. Oh, man.
Well, what you 2 have to realize is that it was bound to happen sooner or later.
Yeah, but you usually don't expect it to come to your doorstep. And not bringing a civil war along with it.
Well, we humans, we seem to enjoy waging war so much and got so good at it, and we let it spread from our planet throughout our solar system. So I think it was kind of inevitable that somebody who would be bigger and better would show up eventually.
I think that's inherent in all things, now that I think about it. They just can't seem to stop fighting. I do remember a time when I wouldn't have batted an eyelash over killing somebody that was threatening the ship. Now I kind of question everything.
You all get a quick glimpse of she mental symbols in your head. That just happens when they're nearby. They come and go. Various white, like light symbols that just appear in your thoughts.
It's gonna be sad.
What's going to be sad?
Say goodbye to this body. It's my favorite copy.
Really? And then, as he says that, he'll take another shot of his supernova.
Yeah. Number 45, the target I was aiming for.
You'll see an eyebrow raise on him, and he'll look at you and say, "You're really enjoying this, aren't you?"
I am. I truly am.
Theo will now glance back over at Kazuko, and he'll just shake his head.
Kazuko he'll kind of stare daggers over at the she, and he says, "It's something I could never, and still have never gotten used to, is how they just invade our minds like that.
Yeah, it's rude.
Exactly.
Not to bring up bad memories, but reminds me of that time that they captured our vessel and they did experiments on us. I still have nightmares over that.
It's strange to see your body from the outside. I really needed to get used to that.
The worst thing was those eyes, though. Just so cold and uncaring and kind of shakes his head.
Yeah. And they don't really have a tongue to pull.
They don't have a lot of things.
True. But they've got mind power, though.
Mind power. Speaking of that, you all heard about Bryce?
What about it?
What happened?
He's in a coma still.
Really?
Yeah. Just keeping his body on ice, trying to preserve him for as long as I can.
What happened?
He's lost inside that damn AI program again.
I always thought he just enjoyed poking around in that other world too much for his own good.
He wasn't just poking around, though, just trying to find answers. I suppose whatever he found, he wanted to stay.
Can't blame him.
I haven't heard much from Pon ever since either.
You think they're married?
Who knows? Last time we checked with her, her AI had ascended its own programming. She realized
doing it virtual style.
Theo will he won't stare daggers at you, but he'll have like a strange look to his face when he looks up at you after that comment, and he'll glance back down at his empty drink.
Oh, yeah.
Kazuko will look over at the doc's too perfect arm, and he'll say, "Where'd you pick that up?"
This? Oh, it's mine. I grew it. Kind of stretches his fingers out and in and just... yeah. I kind of stepped off of that metallic thing. I used to think that was where evolution led us. It's not, though.
Well, evolution of the mind and sciences of the mind. That's kind of what they always taught me, was that perhaps man can do it better than nature.
I guess. But can we do it better than aliens? Are aliens nature?
Theo will look up at. Theo will look up. Oh, sorry. Theo will look back up at you and he'll say, "Of course they're nature. They evolved on their own planet and then came over here."
Well, then I guess we can do it better.
Well, I think you can thank. He kind of nods over to the she. I think you can thank them, because I'm pretty sure that they had a lot to do with that nice arm you have there.
Not just them. Oh, guys. I didn't know it back then, but the things I stumbled upon. If I told you all, it would blow your mind. If you could even understand it.
Just be sure it doesn't get you killed.
Again.
I'm not that easily killed. Especially my favorite number, Colts 45. Cheers, guys. You guys want another drink?
Theo will shake his head. I've had enough.
You know, I think I will have one. I'll have what
Black
you're having.
coffee or something else?
I'll have what you're having. Glass
All
of
right,
wine.
then. Colt will get up and walk to the bar.
You'll see one of the she turn and look at you, and then their vision goes back towards the bartender.
I wink at one of the she and...
You'll see some thought symbols in your head, but you have no idea what they mean.
I'll have an empty glass, thank you.
You'll see that Marion looks at the bartender. He doesn't seem like he's looking in your direction at all. And here you go.
Thank you, baby.
No problem. That'll be a good tip in it, though.
Oh, the best tip you'll ever get. I hold up the glass and kind of stare at it. I look at the she. Hey, guys. Cheers.
The eyes will just stare at you coldly. The one in the center of their forehead and then the two on the sides.
Put the glass very meaningfully in front of Kazuko. Careful. Strong stuff.
It looks like you've maybe a little more than I thought. Maybe it rubbed off on you.
What do you mean?
I never remember back when I first met you as you being so philosophical. You seem like pretty much a straight, and he puts his quote fingers up, straight shooter, you know?
Yeah. Well, like I said, man, you've got yourself to blame.
You've done lost your mind.
What?
I don't know how you can stay so happy at a time like this. Look how many of our friends have already been dead as a result.
That is just a temporary thing, my friend.
Not for some. Not for Loneveer, it wasn't.
Oh. That was a sad thing, but he's better off. But tell me, Kazuko, buddy, I'm indebted to you. What do you want?
How's it?
What can I do to make it right, to even up what you've given me?
Doc, all you can do is continue with that mindset that you have and to carry the memories that we've all got for as long as you can.
That's going to be a long-ass time.
I figured, knowing you, yeah, I figure so.
That's it? Come on.
Nah. Nobody owes me anything. If anything, just the fact that I got the chance to live one of many lives and share a lot of good and bad times with you guys. That's more than enough. If anything, I owe you all.
That's
What?
not good enough.
One of the Shi is going to float over to your table,
Uh-oh.
and he has a data pad sort of stick, and he holds out a data pad, and you see that there's like a signature box, and he holds it out to Kazuko, and he bows.
As the two Shi arrive, Colt will immediately grab the two glasses that are empty and kind of keep it away from him.
Kazuko kind of looks between the Doc and the Shi and kind of, looks up in surprise, and he's still in the habit of, even though they're telepathic, he'll still speak, he'll still talk to them, vocally. And he says, what is this?
Signature, please. Thoughts just reverberate in your skull.
Okay, he'll kind of wince because it's something he never has gotten used to and actually doesn't want to get used to. He'll grab the data pad kind of roughly, and he'll look at it in order to try to discern what the heck this Shi's talking about.
It just looks like it's a place to get signatures from famous people.
Yeah. He looks at the Shi with a puzzled, look on his face. He says, "Signature for what? What is this?"
Most honored guest.
At that, Kazuko kind of jumps up out of his seat, and he looks around the room, and he turns to the Shi after not seeing anyone that he recognizes.
Your deeds have reverberated through our culture. God. We thank you.
There you go. I put on the glasses. This is a man that knows.
Yeah, I guess you're all probably hearing these thoughts in your head now.
Kazuko kind of waves at the Doc to kind of tell him to hush up, kind of tells him to shush. And he says, "I'm going to sign this, and then you're going to leave." Yes?
That would be fine.
Okay, he hastily scrawls a signature on there and then gives the data pad back.
I will be the envy of all of those in my life cycle.
Oh, yes, I'm sure you will, yes. It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
May your gods bless you.
Yes, yours as well. Thank you now, yes. Goodbye. Thank you.
It'll sort of just stare at you, and its black, solid eyes will just sort of measure you for a second. And you'll see the trilobite layers underneath its metal sheath mask sort of fluctuate and scrunch up in places and move around.
Oh my gosh.
And then it floats over to the bar again.
Kazuko visibly looks like he shivers. And then he drops down in his seat and he says, he puts his head in his hand and he goes, I just may have signed my death warrant. Again.
Here, drink up. I push the empty glass to you.
Theo will look over
Thanks,
at
Doc.
you, and he'll put his hand on your shoulder, and he'll say, "We signed our death warrants the second we took that mission."
He says, yeah, Theo, but you don't understand. That's what I've been trying to tell you guys. I've always just wanted to fit in and to be accepted and to just be at ease. And he kind of looks, and his eyes even look more tired than they did before, and he says, I just want to be at peace. And he won't let me.
You, my friend, can do whatever you want. You're a hero.
Kazuko kind of turns towards the doc and he says, I'm no hero, Doc. I'm just a guy who was trying to do his duty for his family and his country, or society rather. I'm no hero. I would have rather been tending garden at the monastery or teaching children a new language. I didn't ask to be hurled out into space and having weapons thrust in my hands and having to kill again and again. That's not who I am.
Theo, tell this guy why he's a hero.
Yeah, Theo.
Yeah, why is he a hero with the she? That's a good question.
Look, I know you didn't choose any of this, but you did bring about a peace treaty. I mean, come to think of it, you were the only man for the job, really. A lot of us are a little too hot-headed for our own good. But you did it. You got people to sit down and talk for the first time in what seems like forever. Without knowing it, you ended up saving a lot of lives. Sure,
Billions.
things aren't...
Trillions.
Yeah. I mean, things aren't good now, but they could have been a lot worse down the line. I would just...
Just like we were saying before, though. Was it my doing, or was it the fact that us humans finally realized that there was a bigger fish in the pond, and that we had better do something, or there may be none of us left? Did we have a choice, or was it because some guy had the skills to get it done?
Theo will put his hand on your shoulder and he'll say, look, it doesn't matter how many parallel universes we went through. You, right here, right now, made that decision. No one told you to do otherwise. It may have been out of country or duty, but the reasons why didn't matter. It's the fact that you, and he'll have his finger pointed at your chest, you did that.
A genuine hero sitting over here, people.
Theo will stare daggers at you now. It's like, he'll give the look of like, what are you doing?
There's some teenage girls that are doing belly shots on the bar that sort of look up and they look like they don't even know who you are.
That's fine. I look at the doc and I don't know whether he's mocking me or he's being sincere. I kind of look at him, just kind of shake my head.
Be able to shake his head and lean back down on the table. He'll say, gosh, I'm out of place. What am I doing here?
Well, that's why this station was built anyway, wasn't it? Isn't it kind of a tribute to the new way of things? The supposed new alliance that's going on, and how humanity is taking a step forward towards its future, and how things are going to be so much better now.
They always say things are going to be better, but they never are. It just gets incrementally worse, and then incrementally slightly better. There's an equation for that. It's called Bernheim's chaos theory. And he'll just start playing around with the glass.
The doc will seem like he's seeing a ghost for a second as a particular old brand of bot walks into the establishment where you're at. It seems like it isn't owned by anyone. It seems like it's self-reliant. Maybe with the new laws that have recently been passed for bot liberation, he seems to be taking it in stride. He walks in, looks around. Looks like that bot you had when you were a very little kid.
Oh my god. I dive under the table. Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Doc, what are you doing? Get up.
The robot over there that just came in. She's not supposed to see me.
Theo will just turn and see it. And what about it?
It's just, she's not supposed to see me.
She?
Well, whatever. What's she doing?
I was just standing around walking. The hell's gotten into you? Oh my
Doc,
goodness.
you've got to face your fears. You can't hide.
Give me the glass. Give me the glass.
No, it's up here on the table. Come get it.
The table. Give it.
I keep the glasses away from him, put them in the middle of the table so he can't reach it.
Damn it.
Doc, get up here.
Is she looking this way?
Double shot of synth oil, please. You'll see that the bot sits down at the bar, a couple seats down from the she. Starts opening up a sort of port on its chest. She rolls out a tube.
It's just getting itself some synth oil. What's wrong with you?
I'm not supposed to be close to that.
Oh, don't give me all that. Are you trying to be some sort of aggressive? They're liberated.
No, it's just I can't be close to. I can't read them. They're different. They're not like us.
Actually, says the law, they are.
No, they're not. They don't think like you and I.
Would you say the same thing about Pawn after she saved your life more than once?
Yeah.
I can't believe you. Look at you, all of your fancy upgrades, and you're still back in the Stone Age.
Don't talk to me directly. Pretend like you're talking to him.
He'll just throw his hands up in the air a little bit and just rest his palm on his forehead with his elbow on the table and just look over at Kazuko. What?
Kazuko's looking at the robot, and he's kind of thinking out loud, and he says, it is possible that they do have souls. Did you ever think about that?
Please, you gotta help me. Get it to leave.
After all that we've been through, I'm pretty sure they do. It's like that time that we went down and found that space station that was empty, but it actually wasn't. It was filled with people. Remember that?
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Just get it to leave.
What do you want me to do? Just tell it to go? I can't do that.
Hang on 1 second. Kazuko will get up and he'll walk over to the table where the bot is, and
its head will turn around and look right at you.
it swivels around.
Yes, Matt. Yes, sir. Is there something I can do for you?
He says, no, there's something I think I can do for you.
Is there something you need to talk to me about?
He says, your next synth oil drink, it's courtesy of that guy underneath the table over there. His name's the Doc.
Doctor.
So if you feel so inclined to show him your gratitude, don't hesitate later on and come by.
It'll stand up. The tube's still hanging out of its chest. The 2 glasses of synth oil are there. He didn't put the tube in, and he just starts walking backwards, and eventually his body will turn around so that he's walking straight at the table.
Theo will lean over and look at the Doc and say, You are an anti-AIist. You know that?
It'll come over to the table, lift it up. Master? Is it you?
Colt's hand will go to the back of his jacket, and he'll pull out a gun and aim it at the robot. Back off.
Uh-oh.
Back off.
The robot will slam the table down on the doctor. The drinks clash and smash and roll off the table. The last supernova that was there, dumps onto the ground.
Theo will kind of, as he falls backwards, he'll kind of reach over towards him and goes, No! Oh!
Does the gun go off at the same time?
Probably, yeah. It'll probably blow the robot's head off.
Oh, God, no!
Blows through the table, hits the bot right in the face. Shrapnel goes thrown against the mirror that's behind the bar. It ricochets off the back of the she, and the girls that are doing belly shots, they get burned in places as various pieces of bot technology are flying through the air, and they duck under the edge of the bar. Master.
Theo will look right up at the Doc and say, You murderer! What is wrong with you?
I gotta go. I can't stay here.
You'll see that the various people that are on the tables that were sitting next to you have now gotten down onto the ground. They're trying to slink back into the corners of the establishment. Some people have already started running out the doors.
I guess we better get out of here.
As Colt will stand up, you'll probably feel the space station shake. No, fuck. This is not right. Happy place. He starts to do Tai Chi and mental exercise movements.
Wow.
Do you need a ride? You all see, in your mind, a thought. You'll see one of the she merchants is turned around. For payment, of course.
Against my better judgment, I think that would be good.
This way, follow us before the authorities arrive, and you'll see the merchants turn around and start floating out the door.
Okay. Is Theo with us?
Theo will be, but he's clenching his fist, and he doesn't look very happy.
Okay. Kazuko will kind of aid the doctor in moving along a little bit faster while he's going.
Don't touch me!
Doc, come on. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. This way. Come on. Got to get you somewhere where you can relax. Come on, this way.
You grab.
The klaxon will start to womp 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 womp, like red lights. All the fancy lights and things have shut off, and there's just a red light just flashing. It goes from a dim lidded room to just a red room. Dim lidded room to a red room. Womp womp womp
As you probably will grab the doctor like by his shoulder or something, or by his arm to help him up,
Mm-hmm.
you'll feel that as you grab his flesh, it feels kind of like putty and like squishy, and the clothing that he was wearing completely disappears as you kind of try to lift him up, and you feel drips falling off his arm. No, don't touch me.
I release him in surprise and shock as all of this happens, and stand there, mouth agape, like, what? Doc!
Theo will walk up. What the hell did you do to yourself?
Theo, step back. This isn't right. Something's not right.
You don't need to tell me that.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Please remain where you are. Authorities are approaching.
I'm all right. Okay,
Resistance will end in death.
let's just leave.
That's what we're trying to do, Doc.
Okay.
This way.
Yes, that way. Yes, follow me.
So what's the doc look like now? What's his physical state?
He's sweating a lot, and you can tell that the place where you kind of grabbed him, your fingers have kind of sunk into his skin, and as you left loose, your finger markings still remain in his skin, and there's a little drip coming from it, some darkish liquid.
Oh my gosh. So the doc's leaving a little trail behind him as he moves?
Yeah. He's moving, and sometimes you see probably his step. It won't touch the ground. It actually like kind of push him up, and he kind of like walking like one leg is higher than the other. It's okay. Let's just get out of here.
Theo, what if that's not the doc?
He will grab his gun and he'll hold it up and say, "He's not the doc. We're about to fix this."
Let's go. Come on, follow me. It's this way.
Go straight and make a left. We all will wait for a few more minutes, and then we are leaving. It's a thoughts rattle in your head.
Okay.
Theo will look over at Kazuko and say, "It's just like old times. Things getting messed up, and then people talking in your head."
You know what? That's very true. So then it must be a good idea for us to follow follow fate. So let's go. And he kind of shrugs and follows the flesh trail, the drippy flesh trail of the doc. So we'll wind our way through the corridors of the station, I guess following the mental instructions that we're getting.
Yeah, you'll get lefts and rights, go straight. And eventually you'll see one of the merchants standing there, and its arm is just motioning to the right. You'll see a airlock door there that's open. There's a small walkway that leads up to the ship.
Doc, are you gonna make it?
I'm good. Why did you send the robot to me? I told you not to do it. I just told you not to bring it.
I didn't know you were allergic to them. I thought you just needed to face your fears. I didn't know you were gonna freak out and blow its head off, commit murder.
I didn't fear it. It was my best friend.
What? What are you talking about? Here, just get on the ship before we get left. We'll talk about this in a second. Just get on the ship.
Best friend? Jeez, now I don't even want to know you anymore.
Yeah, you're right. If those are your friends, what do you do to your enemies?
Theo will just like throw his hands up and be like, "What? Yeah, been through worse."
Oh, well. It must be Sunday.
So do you all enter into the ship?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, you'll enter in. The other merchant will be there. Looks like he's prepping the ship for flight. But he's not using his hands. You just see various lights turn on in various places where its eyes linger.
Oh, so it's a Shin vessel?
She.
She
Yeah,
vessel.
it's a she vessel. There's various seats that are in the area where you've walked into. Looks like it's some sort of cargo bay. There's probably about 40 seats in there, but there's no one else occupying them at the time. The airlock will close. The other merchant will come in and just motion to the various seats. Please, strap yourselves in. We'll be leaving shortly.
How does the vessel look on the inside?
The room that you're in there's no angles. It's all very fluid, and it has like a blue-gray tone to it. You don't think it's made out of metal. It seems like it's maybe even ceramic, or it's just some material you've never seen before. There's the seats themselves are contoured and comfortable.
Theo will visibly shiver for a little bit, as if he's got a tingle down his spine.
One thing that you might notice is that the she don't sit down. They seem like that the seats have been designed for humans.
Okay. I'm alright.
No, you're not all right, Doc. You're far from all right. You haven't noticed you were kind of melting for a little bit.
No, that's okay. It'll fix itself.
Doc, what have you done to yourself?
Theo gets a really bad feeling, and so does Kazuko.
What have you done?
What do you mean?
You're a human candle. What do you mean? What do I mean? You're made out of putty. What did you do to yourself?
It's just, I evolved.
Kazuko looks at Theo with a look of terror on his face.
He'll kind of gently grab your arm and pull you back a little bit, and he'll have his gun in his left hand.
Doc, what do you mean you evolved?
The she ship will launch off the side of the space station.
He'll kind of look at his arm, and it'll reshape itself. That's better. Damn robots.
The second merchant will go through another airlock at the end of the door. Please be seated.
Kazuko, he kind of remembers their sketchy arrangement with the she, and he turns and he says, "What is this? What's this going to cost us?"
We can talk about that later. Right now, we're just trying to avoid the authorities. Breathe deeply, and then the airlock will close in front of them, and you'll start to hear various gases and things being pumped into your room.
Oh, gosh. Okay, this is not good.
Theo will immediately begin running over toward one of the panels and begin just ripping it out and pulling out various tool bits and start working with them.
So you're working frantically.
Inhale deeply.
The mist will start to flow down from the air. It's very moist. There's lots of moisture in it. So as you're frantically moving the panel, your limbs start to not work right.
Damn it! No, not now. No, not again.
There's a thought that goes through all your heads. The reward for you will be quite substantial.
Kazuko's eyes start to kind of glaze over as the mist penetrate his lungs, and he kind of just gets the vision of the three she unstaring, dark, kind of glassy eyes looking into his.
Theo does manage to get the airlock door open, but not before he's on his knees, barely able to breathe.
I will lurch forward with my arm reaching outward towards the airlock, and then glancing back at the others and just collapsing to the ground. No. Damn it. No.
The doctor's just breathing deeply and like, what a lovely aroma.
And what are your final thoughts before you fade to black? We'll just go around. I guess we're here first.
My final thoughts will be, this will be interesting.
David, what are Kazuko's final thoughts?
That once again he feels as though he's going to be under the knife again, not again, and that his innermost thoughts will be exposed.
And Phil, how about you?
Oh, he'll actually have a brief memory about all the times that all the close calls that they've all had, and he'll think about all the people that they've lost, and there'll be a bit of a tear that washes down his cheek, on his left eye, not the right one, and he'll kind of just let his head hit the floor, the cold ceramic-like floor. And he'll just, that final thought will just suddenly be, no.
All right, guys, I really enjoyed that. Old dude clones worked out really well.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Yep.
I guess we'll do something else next. I think pretty much everyone except for Kazuko had gone down to sleep. So let's just work. Okay, here's what I was thinking of doing, sort of like a dreamscape where we'll do all the characters, and the other players have a lot more power in the dream. You know, you can't really kill anybody in a dream. Well, maybe you can, but not in this dream. So feel free to offer, almost like you're co-GMing a dream, all three of you, and I'll jump in there too if I get any weird ideas. Who wants to have a dream first? Someone's enjoying some chips.
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's me. My wife just brought me some. I was like, yum, yum, yum.
That's cool. Just mute with the big crunches, that's all.
Okay, sorry. So,
so
we're all being too polite, so I won't do the first dream. So somebody else do the first dream.
Well, I don't know. It's just so really there's no direction here. We just kind of.
All right. Well, I can have more direction. That's fine.
Throw the.
We'll say that. Well, how about you give me a few willpower rolls here, David?
Okay.
About 3, because you're the only one left awake. Everyone else is asleep, and you're trying. Like, it's been a long time since you've slept last.
Now, are these? Well, I guess what I'm not understanding are these our current.
Yes.
Or,
yeah.
okay.
You're back in regular time.
Okay.
You're alone at in the cockpit. Zixon doesn't exist anymore, so you guys do not have a pilot. And LV-426, John's character had just left, kind of chuckling that you're stuck.
Okay.
Piloting the ship. So.
Okay, so you want a couple of willpower rolls.
Yeah, just try to stay awake.
Okay, I understand. Okay, let's see here. I gotcha. Okay.
You see the blue of the rift in front of you?
Okay. And then I think I saw from your post that we're still about 30 or so hours away.
Yeah,
or no, we're 30 so hours. Yeah, right?
30, I think it's 32 hours away still.
Okay. Okay, wow. All right. What's our standard target number?
8, 9, and 10.
Okay, well, all right, nothing. There's really nothing. That's why I asked.
All right, so 10 minutes after after Longbeer left the cockpit, you're like, I'm staying awake. Well, why don't you describe it? What happens?
All right, so I'm kind of pissed, but at the same time, I'm determined to prove that Kazuko really hasn't felt as though he's found his niche, even though everyone seems to to feel as though he's the best negotiator or so, on the crew. He still kind of feels like, I still got to prove myself. So he's determined that he's going to stay alert and awake and deal with any kind of situation that comes up when he kind of finds himself just staring out into the out of the cockpit, into the distance. And the next thing he knows, he hears a loud crash, and he jumps up from leaning on the control panel. Okay. He kind of stands up and he looks around, and everything is very quiet. And he kind of glances out of the front view screen or whatever, and he actually sees that there appears to be a vessel that has berthed with our ship.
Okay, so here's how this is going to work, guys. Jump in whenever you think you want to throw out strange, dreamlike things. It doesn't have to make sense.
Okay.
So I'm going to jump in here. So
okay.
Kazuka, you're looking out and you're seeing this, the ship that's berthed onto the side of yours, and you turn around and your mother is holding her own head.
Oh, wow.
Blood is dripping out of her throat down onto the communications panel, and words are forming.
Oh, out of the blood?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Upon seeing that, I obviously freak out, and he backs up against the panel, kind of stumbles, and he feels his heart pounding in his chest, and it's hard for him to breathe and everything. And once he realizes that the blood from his mother's severed head is kind of moving on its own accord and forming words on the deck of the ship, and the words remember the past form.
Your mother's torso will drop the head and kick it, and then she starts to crawl up the side of the cockpit up to the ceiling with her hands, and her fingers are sinking into the ship like it's made out of flesh.
Okay. Okay. I'm just laughing because this is really an extreme change from what we're used to. It's good though. It's good. It's good. Okay. All right. So, being freaked out by this, I don't know. Kazuko would probably, more than likely, he would. Oh my gosh. He'll run. He'll beat a path out of the cockpit towards the crew's quarters to see if there's anybody there, or the mess, to see if he can get help.
And as you run through the door, as it opens up, you suddenly walk outside into a beautiful landscape. There's green grass. It seems very cloudy out, and there's a funeral procession right in front of you. And there you see your mother in a casket, and presiding over the casket is your father, a very grimace face on him. Everybody turns to look at you. A massive monitor kind of comes down from above, and the image is that of Socho staring down upon you, almost in a very omnipotent fashion. And your father walks up and says, "Look at what you have done. You had to go on your own way, and you still failed." Then everyone will start to turn, and they'll say, "Failed, failed, failed." And then Socho, her eyes will start become very staticky, and she will say, "This failure will be corrected." And then you see massive metallic tendrils coming up from the ground, trying to snatch at you.
All right. He'll kind of writhe and pull at the tentacles as they envelop his limbs, and they'll actually the tentacles are actually coming out of the grave where his mother's gonna be, her casket's gonna be set in, and they pull him in, and as his hands are clawing at the dirt and the grass, and he gets pulled in, he screams, and he actually awakens, and he's at the control panel again at the ship.
Okay, nice. All right, Rohir, you weren't first. Now you're second.
Oh, damn.
So
I don't know if I can top that. You guys are good.
So,
oh, man.
So Rohir, describe what maybe the events right before you went to sleep, and then we'll get into the dream.
What I've done before I went to sleep?
Oh yeah, like what happened right before you went to sleep?
I
think we were talking about that a little bit too.
Yeah. Well, I will probably in my bunk I will check the camera recordings of what happened in the med bay while I was gone and while Long V was all alone.
Okay, so you see Longveer messing with the bioscanner, and you'll actually see him. Looks like he's typing in a code, and he sort of has like a interested look on his face. It seems like he's broken your code on the bioscanner, but he's doing that, and he's looking around. You'll see him open up some cabinets. He's taking out some enhancements and shoving them in his pocket, and then he sort of like chuckles to himself. And then you'll come back into the room, and you're carrying the remains of that centipede / Jylin clone creature. With lots of cybernetics on the side of it. It's all like blown to pieces, and it's on that panel from the cockpit. And you'll see that Longbeard just puts the bioscanner back, in a place where you can't see him doing it, and then he greets you.
I kind of saved a file and I'll put the pad down and the plot thickens, and I kind of lean down and kind of close my eyes and try to relax, try to do the meditation exercises that were given to me, and fall asleep.
So how does the dream start?
I'll probably be what would he dream of? I'll probably be at a beach, and there will be a huge mass of people there, and one specimen more impressive than the other, and I'll walk past and kind of with a checklist going and make notes of the things that I believe are proper about this person and should be different physical and genetic things, and I'll look at them and I kind of see their genetic code string out through their body, and I go no, that won't do, and I kind of scratch things out and that sort of stuff.
So you're walking along, the waves are lapping at the sand on the beaches. Sky is slightly overcast, but every once in a while the sun comes out and warms things up. The sand that you're walking on seems to slowly change into what looks like marbles or very small chunks of glass. And you look behind you, they seem like they're broken marbles, and they're shredding your feet. You can see a bloody path behind you. And as the people are running on the beaches, you see that there's just footprints and blood, and people are turning over to sunbathe on the other side of them, and they have chunks of shards of glass in their back and the back of their legs and their feet. Some are laying down on their face, and as they sit up, they They have these shards in their face, and the sun glints off them. But they don't seem to notice any of this.
Well, it seems to be perfectly normal for me too, so I kind of like, oh wow, shards, yes, it would harden the skin, and I kind of like start to take it in the calculations of if it would make a better person.
And as you do that, you walk along, and all of a sudden you almost bump into a figure in front of you, and it's a nurse, and she's wearing a mask over her face, and though you can't see it, it looks like she is smiling broadly, almost from ear to ear, and she tilts her head and says, "That simply just won't do. No, it will not." And then as you turn around, you see two more nurses, and then boom, right from behind, you're thrusted on this table, and then the table just starts going forward, and then from the beach, as the cloud passes overhead, you end up finding yourself in a dark hallway, and then lights start strobing by one by one by one by one, and then boom, you go through this large door into this what seems like a very auditorium-like setting. There's a wall that goes up about 10 feet in a circular diameter, and then above it looks like tiny rows of seats all around in this very concave fashion, like a little amphitheater.
Uh-oh.
And there's tons of people there, and they're all staring down. They look very rich, very fancy individuals with only the most glamorous of accessories. And you'll see a tall gentleman there. He'll have a very nice suit on, and he'll have an apron on, a medical mask over his face, and you'll see all kinds of assortments of medical equipment about, medical scanners, the whole thing. And then you'll be put onto this bed. And as you do that, this figure leans over to your face, his mask pulls off, and you see your older brother. And he'll look at you with some very expensive champagne in hand, drinking it out of the cup, and he'll say, "You were never good enough, brother. But don't worry, we'll fix that. Nurse..."
I'm the doctor, but I'm the doctor.
"Oh, no. Today, we're going to be doing surgery." And he'll look up and say, "Gentlemen, what we have here is an imperfect person. He didn't quite fit in, so we're going to fix it." And he'll pull out from behind him this very large knife that doesn't look at all sanitary. And "This is my lucky knife." And he'll begin just cutting into you, and then pulling out.
Jolly good, sir. Jolly good.
I'm the doctor. I'm the doctor.
"Oh, no, sir. Today we're the doctor. You just sit right there and patting your head with a bloody palm." And just begins just taking all kinds of innards out. And one of the innards looks like you. Oh. It looks like a baby version of you. He goes, "Oh, there's your problem." Oh, look at him. So innocent. If only he was more like the rest of us. If only he was. Here, we'll cut the umbilical, and then we'll raise him as our own.
I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor.
We'll have to erase those thoughts. Those thoughts are unproductive. And he'll put like a mask over your face, and all right, now we'll begin pumping the anesthetic. And a huge smile across his face, and then all the gentlemen begins clapping very promptly with their fingers on the bottoms of their palms.
I'm the doctor. I'm the doctor. I'm the doctor.
And then suddenly, as you fade in, you wake right back up. But there's something wrong. It feels like you're in water. Everything feels all blurry, and you see bubbles coming up from around. And as you seemingly try to turn your head, you see a body in the distance, but it has no head on it. It's all eviscerated, and all of its innards are out. And there's the nurses taking it apart and shoving it into a crude grinder of sorts. You see the doctor there, your older brother, shaking the hands of your father and sister, wiping himself off. They look over to you and walk right over, leaning down with a huge smile on his face. He'll say, "Yes, that is more like it, isn't it? Come, Look at the improvements I've made. And you'll see that his hand doesn't quite touch your face. It's almost as if it's pushing against glass, and you'll hear the strange metallic grinding noise as what you're in is turning and it faces a mirror, and you see your head and a floating jar of teal liquid.
No! No!
We fixed you right up, brother. You are now just like the rest of us.
Can I put it up on the shelf next to the flowers?
Oh, I think that would be a splendid idea. They'll go
like
great.
the blue ones or the pink ones?
Oh, I'd say the red ones.
I don't know, red ones. That would be nice.
Not the red ones, not the red ones.
He's cute. Maybe the children could play with him.
A splendid idea. And then you see little versions of yourself running out. 7 of them, in fact. All of them in very rich and prompt uniforms.
I just have to interject here and say bravo. That's all.
The dream will change and shift, and you'll see things spinning, and you think, it's hard to tell, it's very disorienting, you think that your head is being rolled down a long series of winding stairs, and you get glimpses of various photos and portraits that are warped, pictures of your family and your crew members. They're strange and bizarre, and they bulge out, and their eyes are dripping liquid on the outside of your container as you're rolling down the stairs, and you feel yourself being thumped against this edge and then that edge. You're not only spinning sideways, but every once in a while it'll spin vertically in the canister that you're in. And then as you get to the bottom of the stairs, it shatters into 1,000 pieces, and you find yourself, pieces of yourself, light, just floating upwards through the house, through level to level, and you're looking down on the world, and you seem like you're a glittering array of stars. And then you wake up.
Fuck.
You're probably covered in sweat.
Yeah,
Other things, yeah.
Yeah, maybe your sheets wrapped around your neck.
I pull it all off, and I'll probably go and take a shower or something.
All right, so you're taking a shower. Let's see here. I think, did we do everybody's dream except for... Oh, we haven't done Phil yet, right?
No, we didn't do Phil yet.
Okay.
Now it's Phil's turn.
Okay.
And then we'll get to Alacob joined us. That's cool. Alacob, what we're doing is very narrative, like dream sequences as everyone has gone to bed. It's been a long time since you guys have slept. And we're all just sort of interjecting things in the dream as it pops into our head. So don't be afraid to jump in there and morph the dream into whatever you think is best. We've had a mixture of...
Oh, good. I love these type of scenes.
So Phil, describe what you're doing right before you go to bed.
Okay. He will try to fight sleep for as many hours as it takes. The thought of the Jylland Wraith abomination still about the ship in other forms is deeply troubling him. And he starts writing up his schedule, and it feels like it's late into the night, and his eyes are growing weary, and he feels really stressed out about everything. And as he does so, he just kind of gets up and walks back to his bunk and sort of lays down on it, and staring up at his hollow poster that he's put up, he's just begins thinking about pleasant thoughts to try to get him to relax. And as he does, his eyes close and they fade. And then he finds himself awoken. But the ship feels different. The lights are all off. Sparks are blasting about. He sees, or he hears, a strange noise from the hallway. His door is ajar. It seems like something had smashed it open slightly, and he just hears crawling noises. He'll get up. He'll try to reach for a weapon. He'll have none. But he looks over to his left arm. He won't find it there. It's gone. All that's left is bones, hanging right off the flesh. He'll look into the hallway. Most of the ship feels strange. It feels moist in the air. As he stares out, the stars are different. It feels red. As the sparks flash in between, he'll see what looks like flesh on the walls, pulsating, mixed with wires.
I am what you once were.
Who are you? Han, what's the status of the ship? Han? Bryce? Kazuko? Anybody? Anybody?
Theo can hear that howling wind and actually feel a moist, kind of humid breeze come from up the corridor ahead of him. And as he kind of tentatively walks forward, a panel door opens up, and he hears all kinds of ka-chunk, 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 and noises and everything emanating from that room. He kind of peers in, and he sees that he's actually looking at, it looks like the innards, quite literally, of some kind of biological, mechanical machine of some sort. He kind of sees that there's all types of cogs and wheels grinding against each other, making all kinds of weird noises. And the lubricant for all of these bone cogs is, of course, various types of bodily fluids.
I am now.
Pawn status. Pawn. Theo will then begin to just pull open a panel, and then he'll just crawl right into it and closing it back up, his chest heaving back and forth. He'll just start crawling about, and they're not going to get me. No, not this time. I survived too much. No. But the corridor is cramped.
The metal starts to change into flesh, and it starts to constrict. Seems like you're in a giant intestine, and the more that you push, the more that it constricts around you.
No! No, get off! No!
The insides of this corridor, the cord, as it were, that Theo's in, it does start to kind of constrict and push and pull, and actually starts moving Theo's body along as he tumbles head over heels, going towards some unknown destination, and he gets spit out, as it were, into another area.
Wet and covered with all the various bodily fluids that have lubricated the inside of that fleshy tomb. He looks about and sees a mangled mess. Wires, bone, metal, in the most grotesque of fashions, in the most bizarre of shapes, almost incomprehensible. He tries to get up, and he sees only the flashing red light illuminating the even redder flesh and metal mixtures all about him.
The power is gone.
Then I'll have to restore power to the ship then. He'll reach over and he'll grab a power nodule next to him, and he'll walk over and try to insert it within the alcove that is present within the fleshy abomination. Stepping over.
It turns into a white bunny in your hands.
Well, he'll try to pet it with his left arm, but realize that there's nothing but bone there, hanging limply. So he'll just put the rabbit down, and he'll walk over and say, well, I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way then.
You were never good enough. The bunny's mouth starts to speak.
Theo will feel a rash of rage overcome him. He will lunge at the rabbit, grabbing it with his right arm by the neck and squeezing ever so tightly, yelling at it,
You don't know me! You don't know me!
its limp body hanging in his hand now. He drops it to the floor. His hand shaking, he falls and collapses, leaning back. His face he feels the intensity, but then he still feels the anger inside. His body's still shaking. He'll look over and say, I'll finish this. I'll start everything up. It'll be just like normal, as he crawls towards the abomination.
A panel opens up, and inside of it, you see all the fleshy gears and mixed in with wiring and fluids and everything. And as Theo gets closer, he actually sees that instead of the various data cards or circuits or I don't know what to call them. I guess I'll just say data boards that can be swapped in and out. You actually see that there's you see different figures that you've known in the past that are the actual connectors and gyros and tubes and things of the innards. And they're all kind of mouthing at you.
He'll grab them each one by one, looking them over, his hand kind of stroking the surface of it. What do you want from me? What is it?
They're kind of saying, fix it.
I'm trying to fix it. That's what I've been doing. What? He'll pull one of them out and he'll see the image of his older brother on it. And he will feel extreme anger, and he'll just throw it down on the ground and say, fix it!
I'll fix you! That's what needs to be fixed!
And he'll just start throwing his fist into it, left and right, constantly hitting it, until it breaks into shards, until his hand is bloody, until his hand meshes with the goop below. And then all of a sudden, the lights begin to flash. He finds himself in another room. It looks like a bathroom, staring into a mirror, looking at himself. But as he does, his whole left side of his face is hollow. As he turns to look with his right eye, he sees that everything else his whole skull on the inside is just hollow, is just a blackness. Then it phases back and forth as the lights flash. He sees the image and he's back on the ground with the bloody machinery and back and forth and back and forth.
As you look in front of you, you see strange shapes moving about. And you hear what seems like talking. And as you crawl closer to it, you see worms similar to the one that you found jumping out of this circuit board. And they're all chewing on something. And as you look at it, you see yourself lying there on the ground, and these worms are all eating from it. And they look at you, and you all see the faces of the crew members looking at you and say, "You're different. Fix it. Fix it. Be like us."
Theo will feel a rash of anger wash over him, his right fist clenched. He begins attacking them, smashing them, yelling, "I'll fix you! I'll fix you! Traitors! Traitors!"
The journey never began.
Pawn! Pawn! Stay to the ship! Stay to the ship!
He'll lean over the corpse of himself, crying, the bloodied worms and abominations all about him, his face covered in various extremities of goop as he has thoroughly wrenched his hand into each of the creatures. He'll stare out at the window with his back against the wall.
The fire burns cold.
He'll look over to his left, and he'll see a plasma tank. He grabs it, puts it in front of him, and begins dialing in numbers. Yeah, fire does burn cold. And there's one solution. You gotta heat it up. He pushes in the same exact numbers, and when he pushes down the nodule, boom, fire erupts all around, consuming him, the ship, nothing but a blaze of red and yellows all about. But it's not hot. It's cold. It's cold, and he finds himself floating in space now. And as bits of the ship are now floating about, he sees a mirror floating by. Same reflection of himself, but hollowed out on his left side. Just him now, in the vastness of space.
And you wake up. Okay. Now we're now we're going to get to Alkov. So, Alkov, you've been meditating in your room, trying to avoid the rest of the crew, probably staring at your blade.
Yeah.
So, why don't you describe what happens, and then you'll fall asleep and have a dream.
Eventually, as restful as meditation is, eventually you need sleep, so I just decide, okay, I've done this for long enough, and I put the sword away and go to sleep.
How does the dream begin?
It will begin as the sounds of battle, because that's pretty much what I've been fixating on and meditating on, is my military nature and how that's kind of conflicting with everyone else on board. So I wake up to sounds of battle, and I panic, and I get out of bed, and I go grab weapons and rush outside. And then I see the ship is empty, and like, why is it? There's explosions going on outside. Why is there no one here? And I run through the corridors, the empty corridors, shouting, trying to find somebody. Like,
your footfalls start to make splashing noises, and you look down. It seems like there's a water level that's rising about an inch every second, just filling up all the corridors, all the rooms, everywhere you see.
Okay, I will keep trying to find someone or find some way of releasing the water. Okay.
The outside of the hull of the ship will start to indent violently in various places as if something large has started smashing into the outside of it, almost like a tin can being crushed.
Yeah, well, I expect that there's a battle going on. So I keep running around. I will maybe try to find an airlock to vent the water if it gets too high, but that would also let stuff in, so.
When you get to the airlock, it's a large mouth that's continually licking its lips with this grotesque, rotted tongue.
Okay, I shoot it. I did bring a gun.
The lips explode into thousands of writhing maggots that litter the top of the rising water. They seem to be able to swim and congregate into these little floating islands of white mass.
Okay, and then I start stomping on them. Like, I'm completely panicking at this point, and once I saw the mouth, I just stopped thinking tactically, and just like, that thing needs to die. Now these things need to die.
The water level is about chest high at this point, and the maggots are starting to collect on your arms and shoulders.
Alright, well, I keep frantically trying to get them off, but I'm pretty much doomed at this point. And I get eaten alive by maggots.
And as the water envelops you, all of a sudden you find yourself back on board, but it's not your ship. No, it's your old captain's ship. The hull around it is all mashed up. There's sparks flying about. Your captain turns around in his chair and says, "Don't you know that a captain always goes down with his ship?"
Yes, I did.
Stand to order.
I do.
Name, rank, who are you?
Lyran Ying, first mate, whatever the name of this ship was, which I forgot.
Takakaze.
Takakaze.
Yes, you are the first mate, aren't you? But now you're captain. How are you doing? How are you faring? Doesn't look like it's too well. The captain must always be confident, and then he'll appear on your other side. Just as he says that, a captain must always, always know what he is doing.
I do. No one else seems to, but I do. I'm the decisive one. Everybody else is being crazy and making random decisions behind my back. It's not my fault.
Sociopath.
He'll then appear on the other side. He'll then appear on the other side of you and say, "You know the saying. The nail that sticks out gets hammered. The nail that sticks out gets hammered." And he'll just keep repeating that over and over.
They all want to kill you. They never liked you.
I know that, but they trust me as a tactical person, so I'm useful for now. When I stop being useful, they'll stop being useful to me. Then I don't care what they think.
The captain's chair turns into a large mouth that just starts laughing.
Okay. Okay, I'm kind of of freaked out by that, but I'm going to, since he's just been giving me a lecture about being confident, I'm kind of trying to keep from just running and screaming. And I have already seen one giant mouth today.
You'll probably, while you're running through the corridor, you'll bump into Colt, who looks. Oh, hey, Captain.
Hello. You realize there's a giant mouth back there?
Where do you think you're going? He picks you up and kind of holds you like a little boy. Aww. What are your orders, Captain? Huh? What are your orders?
Go kill the giant mouth that's back there?
Aw, is there an evil giant mouse back there? Ooh, come on, let's go see what the evil giant mouse has to say. He carries you back to where you go, where you came from. Don't worry, Doc will protect you from the evil giant mouse.
You see just the large giant lips just.
Look at that, that's a big evil giant mouse. Hey, big evil giant mouse, you should be nice to the captain. He's just a sweet little boy, aren't you?
That actually freaks me out more than the thing calling me a sociopath.
The tongue comes out of the mouth, and it's a physical representation of Pawn. She's naked, and she's painted with a variety of colors.
All right, little captain, why don't you say you're sorry to the big evil mouth? Give it a kiss.
Captain, there's a problem.
Yeah, no shit.
Come on, go kiss it. Make up.
I refuse to do anything. I just sort of go in.
You're supposed to be a good boy.
Yeah,
you see the cap.
I don't do anything undignified, like throw a tantrum. I just sort of go limp. Like,
you see your captain show up, and he'll have his katana in hand, and he'll just cut down the mouth with Pawn, and then he'll cut down the doctor in tow. And as it looks like you fall, you actually stand erect. You don't feel like a child no more. All of a sudden, you see this beautiful, lavish room instead. It's highly decorated. It would remind you of a grand Gonjin hall. All the captains are there, the top generals, the admirals, the commodores. And you are there, in full regale outfit. And your captain is there, with a medal in hand. You've done your nation proud. I'm proud to name you Admiral. You bring us great victory.
Good. I get a good dream for once. Okay. I'm just happy now. I go with this as long as it's good.
Lyren sees in the crowd all of the ancestors he's ever had, and he just knows that thousands of years of his family's history is represented in these people. He just looks down the various aisles and he can see how the facial structures have changed over the years. But he just knows that everyone in attendance is his family.
Good.
And a sounding applause erupts around the entire place.
Yes. And I will, at this point, kind of go into a prayer mode, because I feel like, assuming that I'm playing it like it's a lucid dream to some degree, so assuming that it is, I recognize this is a continuation of other dreams and stuff, and remember my life, I will go into kind of prayer mode and basically silently ask them to help me deal with everything, like the fact that I'm a sociopath and the fact that my crew doesn't trust me, and give me some idea what to do, because right now I don't trust my instincts, since my instincts are to kill everyone that disobeys me.
From beneath where you're standing, the floor erupts. Giant metallic hands are just crouching you between their fingers. The arms continue to break through the stage. Everyone starts to run out of the audience. And you're being held by the Nobot Daigon. And it's it's holding you in front of its chest that has the image of a small white face with small dark eyes. It almost looks like a little girl's face.
All right. Well, I look at this as a heavily mystical thing because I go from my family, which is a heavy thing in Asian spirituality, to the NWOD that I specifically worshipped and wanted to join. So I'm seeing this as like him basically chastising me for being bad at my job of being a diplomat and letting Kazuko replace me.
Be true to that which dwells within you. Do not snuff out the flame. Let it burn. Feed it. Give it time to reach towards the heavens and engulf the world.
You'll see your captain walk right beside it, staring at you. He'll say, "And use your friends as your kindle, but do not burn them as you would an enemy. Loyalty is earned. Trust is earned. It is not given."
I nod at him.
He'll then bow respectively. As he rises back up, he'll say, "Your path will be hard, but no path in life is easy. Tread well, and I will see you again." And then he'll fade off.
Mm-hmm.
Lyren's body will start to take on the guise and form of a NWOD himself.
Ah, this is very good. I am very happy about this.
You see that a younger version of himself is on the chest display of the giant robot.
Good. Sacred thing. Oh, good.
And then the dream comes to an end.
Alright, so I'm the only one who gets a happy ending.
I kind of figured that I didn't want to do too many bad ones. I was like, oh man, we kind of. It was a consistent theme of terrible, awful.
No kidding. I was like, oh, horror. Okay, I didn't.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing because like the last one I came in on ended with somebody becoming stars, and so I was kind of thinking Arthur C. Clarke, were a kind of positive thing. And then I thought, oh, an acid trip scene. I can do that. I can't do creepy horror of doom, like giant maggots and weird. I can do this sterile, flimsy stuff, but that's not at all where anyone was going. So I just kind of kept my mouth shut.
I have very strange dreams sometimes, so I guess
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I do too, but whenever I run stuff, I can usually go towards the happy side of whimsy.
So we're going to say that about 8 hours have passed. So
Good.
what would that be? There's 32 hours left. So what's that? 24? Yeah, 24 hours left until you guys are going to reach the rift. You've all waken up after your various dreams. You guys come on out? Do you come out for breakfast? Out to the lounge area, perhaps?
Mm-hmm.
Theo will end up skipping breakfast altogether, and he'll get straight to his task of trying to sweep the ship of just making sure that it's A-okay, because he fears that there's probably more of those giant abominations about. But he'll head to a little workshop area and begin working on something.
Okay. How about Rohir?
I will probably go and have breakfast, and I will probably strike up a conversation with Kazuko.
Yes.
Okay. Kazuko will already be in the mess there, and he'll be making soy tea, pitcher or pot rather of that, and as the rest of the crew members start to filter in, he'll pretty much just kind of wordlessly place a steaming cup of tea in front of everyone, as he's still quite disturbed over the dream that he had last night.
Yeah. You notice the jarring contrast is I come out and, like, was never so obviously pouting as to not eat with you, but I was very taciturn. And everybody else seems to be like you, or they had creepy dreams. I come out and am actually, like, happy and cheerful. And, like, then I notice everybody else looks weird, so they kind of try to tone that down, but it's a very jarring contrast of, oh, you're the one who actually was happy today. What? Damn you. As I take your tea, thank you. You didn't sleep well?
Not really, Captain. How about yourself?
Oh, I have a lot to think about, and I was hoping to be able to maybe get your interpretation on it, but I had a interesting dream involving lots of potentially significant stuff. I normally wouldn't notice, but or would think it was insane, but with the rift so close, who knows what's going on now.
Kazuko kind of perks up at your mentioning of the rift, and he says, perhaps there's some weight to that theory, Captain. Maybe there's some kind of radiation or energy of some sort that may be coming from the rift that possibly could be affecting us somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it could be affecting our minds in some way that comes out through dreams, so.
Affecting our minds?
Well, I already thought it might be affecting me and making me more sociopathic, so maybe it's now giving me dreams.
Very interesting.
Well, nobody knows what the rift is actually all about, so it could do anything.
Yes.
That
may explain a lot of things, then.
All right, we'll stop there as you guys are discussing that. Since,
that's kind of interesting.
John joined us at the end here. So, John, we had a beginning session of old guy clones, where the clones of their future selves talk to each other, but that was the beginning. Now we're doing dreams. So, do you want to discuss or talk about what you did right before sleep? Oh. Are you there, John? Don't think John's working out for some reason. John, are you there? I can't hear you.
He doesn't appear to be able to hear us either because he hasn't typed anything.
Well, he typed something earlier, though.
Yeah.
Huh. All right, well, I guess we'll just keep going with the... let's see here.
Oh, my mic's not working.
Mic's not working. All right. So we'll just go back to the being on the lounge of the ship.
All right. So we were talking about dream stuff and how the rift could be changing stuff.
Yeah. It could be possibly influencing us in certain ways that we're not aware of. Or it may be communicating with us.
Yes.
Or trying to.
Well, if it's communicating with me, it seems to be doing it in a more positive way than with you, which is good. But that doesn't mean that what it's saying, even if it seems pleasant, is something I should listen to. I don't know.
Why? What message did you get from your dream last night?
Well, I ended up in being promoted to admiral in a hall full of my ancestors, which was my first clue of something's going on. And then the NWOD that I have primarily honored before came out of the floor, and I started turning into it, and then it said something weird and cryptic like things do in potentially significant dreams about stay true to your inner self and flames and weirdness. which make no sense.
What the way you interpret?
The way I interpreted it could be one of two things. It could be either stay true to my dream of becoming a diplomat, despite my potential issues with empathy, and just wait for it to wait for my empathy to come back, and because there was something about like waiting for things to improve, or for your this said something about your flame growing or whatever. Wait for stuff your abilities to come back, or it could mean stay true to what you are and give up on that, which I'd already pretty much given up on it. So if it means anything, it probably means don't give up and just wait out until this whole being a sociopath thing goes away.
Say, Captain, there's no need for you to give up. None of us can afford to give up in our current circumstance.
Well, that doesn't mean giving up on life. It just means giving up on going into that particular career, because I no longer really have the skills for it. But this is saying that maybe this lack of empathy and people feel this is temporary, and I will get it back when we get away from the rift, or when I get used to the rift, or who knows.
Perhaps it's just another hurdle that's been put in front of you purposefully for you to overcome.
Yes, and if I can overcome that, I can overcome anything normal that I might encounter. So that might be it. Anyway, for now, I still know that it's not a good idea for me just to go charging into diplomatic situations. So whether or not this goes away on its own, there's nothing I can do about it until it does.
Well, talking about diplomatic situations, I might, seeing as I have the two captains here at the time, might bring something to your attention.
Yes?
I kind of look and take out my data pad and kind of show the video footage of what was taken in the med bay.
I knew you were going to do that. Okay. All right.
I'm like,
what is it? What do we see?
You'll probably see Longveer working with the bioscanner, which all in itself doesn't seem very strange, of course, because, well, it might be a tool that he might use. But you also see him going through some enhancements and pocketing some of them.
Okay, so he's stealing stuff and messing with your equipment. This is not good.
Yep. I thought it was strange that when we had a situation in the bridge, that he wanted and needed to stay back at the med lab, so I activated the cameras to see what was going on.
All right. And then you said, all right, well, this is more Kizuko's area than mine, so I yield to him. What do we do about this?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I just want to make sure the mic was working. So.
Oh yeah, man.
You said you're going to stumble in?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, right as you say that, you kind of, Longveer kind of stumbles in, rubbing his eyes, walks over to the coffee maker and turns on some coffee. Captain, Doctor?
Longveer?
Is Longbeard still wearing his shroud?
Yeah. Yep, he's wearing the shroud, but he has the Maverick given jumpsuit, the plain prison issued jumpsuit over it. And then he has all his technical gear out on his belt. No weapons or anything, just that.
See? I'll hand him a cup of soy tea.
Right. Slowly I take a sip. So, did I disturb something? I can come back.
How did you rest?
I didn't actually sleep. I did some work.
You noticed anything odd happen lately?
Lately? That seems like an odd question to ask.
I'll probably laugh about that. Like,
specifically the scorpion creature, millipede thing, the
Well,
Jylin.
I mean, since that.
Oh. No. Nothing unusual or untoward that I know of.
Everything in the med bay going okay?
So far. Still having trouble trying to get the diagnostic thing to work, but that's locked out.
Okay, Kazuko kind of looks at the doctor and goes, "Oh, so it was malfunctioning?"
No, it's locked out. It's just, I don't know why he hasn't locked out. It should be open for anyone to use. What if he's injured? One of us need to get into it.
Okay, I turn to the doctor and go, "See, there was a reason he was messing with it."
really?
I kind of stare at the doctor. The problem doctor?
Well, I kind of turn the screen towards you and show you your footage of you on the med bay.
And that shows everything, like me, quote, stealing the stim packs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I say, yeah, I was trying to put the code in, try to figure it out. I just thought it would be relevant, especially if you get hurt. The stims I just grab and actually reach into my belt pouch and show them. They're really just basic combat stims. I figure having them in the med bay doesn't do any good, but when we go into into any type of fighting situation, we should have them available. One of them is relieves poison, one of them that relieves disease. Or should I not have used them for that? I don't. Is that wrong? And he sips his tea.
I sip my tea as well. Is it, Captain?
I thought everything on the ship was to be shared. I mean, I could put it back. I don't want to step on it.
Well, I think the doctor is just kind of sensitive about, his equipment and who has access to it. I think, he's just a little, concerned that someone who may not be quite as qualified or may not be used to the adjustments he's made on it.
I am more than qualified to use anything in the scientific area.
I hold my hands up and I go, no offense. Don't take this as any offense, We're just merely trying to establish, I don't want to use the word boundaries, but we just want to make sure everyone understands, what is expected of them.
So what you're saying is I am a past criminal, you don't trust me yet, and you don't want me touching anything? Is that...
No, he's saying the doctor doesn't trust you yet.
Well, yeah, but that's in his nature. He should.
I kind of look at the captain and I kind of roll my eyes and say, well, yeah, but I mean, we need to have these talks as a crew so that we can...
I'm not. I wasn't saying...
Oh, okay, I thought you were saying
I was just saying that I am perfectly fine with everything he did, but I understand why other people might not be.
I can assure you that if I had wanted to be deceptive, I would have disabled any cameras in the science area.
As I assumed. Or used your stealth suit, which I know you have.
I do have a stealth suit on. And that brings me up. I actually used the 3D printer to start processing more stealth suits for everyone on the ship.
Oh, I didn't know it could do that. Great.
Yep, apparently it can copy anything.
Okay.
I also did tests on the Scorpion with the doctor's pre-information on all the organic stuff. I worked at the more the mechanical side, and it looks like I can find a way to create small injectors to shoot the acid the creature had, if there was a need for it.
Okay.
So I salvaged that and put it off to the side.
Kind of creeped out by that, but that might be useful.
Yeah, Kazuko kind of,
it could be
he doesn't say anything, he just kind of studies.
Well, I wasn't necessarily thinking it as an offensive thing, more of a, what if we need to get through a lock or something like that, you could probably just squirt it onto the lock. It seems highly corrosive. I mean, it ate through the hull really quickly, so. Besides that, I have besides that, I put the creature in one of the small cases that we can eject out into space whenever you guys are ready. I didn't want to do it without having the whole crew there in case someone wanted to investigate. Acid sparkles.
Yes.
Okay, so there's no need for any concern then, right?
You notice the whole time,
everyone...
like, Longbeard's eyes never left the doctor.
Feel better, Doc?
Should I feel better?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I've got a question. I apparently put a lock on that bioscanner, did I not?
Yeah, it's definitely locked, I think, yeah.
Yeah. It was locked. Why would somebody lock something?
Because they're paranoid, perhaps? They don't want anyone else to share in their abilities? I don't know. It really seems crazy to me.
You never lock anything.
I have nothing to lock.
All right, but let's say you did. Then why would you lock it?
I assume I would lock it for safety reasons, perhaps?
Oh, well, there you go. So if somebody would lock something and you would require that tool,
yes,
why would you break it open, hide the fact that you break it open, and not speak of it when the person returns?
Well, I didn't hide anything.
Oh, you didn't mention it.
It was just part of the work. Well, to be honest, I was more surprised at the giant centipede-like creature that you dropped on the ground. It sort of slipped my mind.
Well, you seemed adamant of hiding what you did.
I don't know what you mean. I know when you came in, I remember throwing it onto the table and rushing over to you.
I don't remember about being, or not sure about being adamant. I did find it odd that you didn't just ask the doctor to unlock it and present your perfectly rational explanation for why it shouldn't be locked. Before you decided, I'm just going to break into it.
Well, I could always just use one of the secondary ones.
Okay, now, so then you don't need it to be open, so you had no reason to break in. You're hurting your own case here.
There is no case. Is there a reason that we shouldn't be using it, Doctor?
Oh, yes.
So shouldn't you share that with everybody?
It's reason enough that he doesn't want it used.
Yeah, but that's a ship thing. That's like saying only some people can use the piloting station. This is something that I use with my work every day.
Right, but if you have your own version, your own ones that you can use instead, and they aren't deficient in any way, there's no real harm done by him not wanting other people to use that one. And it's just like saying, this is...
Besides us having to rehook up a whole other section. Alright, there was one. Okay.
Yeah, but if it's something that minor, then you can just discuss it with him. You don't have to take the drastic measures of breaking into it.
Exactly. I locked it quite well, and as far as I can tell from the footage, you immediately, almost immediately started to work on it when I left, like you knew it was locked.
Yeah, I knew it was locked because I had to put the password before.
Why not just ask me to unlock it?
Well, I had the password. I don't understand what you're talking about. You gave me the password a couple days ago to get into it.
No, I didn't.
I think you did, actually.
Well, all right.
When we were playing.
Then, you know what? I'd prefer it if you leave the bioscanner to me.
So,
I won't go snooping around in your chemical thing and just...
Well, we use the bioscanner for everything that has to be done.
Yeah, well, I'll use it and you leave it be, okay?
So, are you changing the details of the assignment that I was brought here to do? Even as a prisoner, I was brought in to work in the scientific division, which is in the med bay, which uses that as part of it.
Yeah, well, but this bioscanner is used for mostly medical things, and you're the chemical guy.
Well, it's used for symbiotes and other things that we may come across, yeah.
So, all right.
To me, that's up to the captain, or up to you, I don't know. I just need to know what my job is. If no one trusts me because I was once an ex-con who killed people, then, That's fine. Sips his tea. But, I mean, you should let me know so I don't waste my time trying to help you all.
Yes,
I think I've already showed my dedication to the ship.
Right, and I've already
handily destroyed 2 of the machines that were going to kill us.
Yeah, I've already said I trust you. I don't think that's a problem. The problem is other people. If there is one at all.
Well, I think we've all shown that we're all competent parts of the crew and we can work together, so I just think that...
This is just a potential snag. It's like, and we have to smooth it out however we can.
Well, there's 2 issues here. One is that the doctor feels that it's necessary for him to limit access to certain equipment. And number 2 is the fact that Longbeard thinks that it's perfectly acceptable for him to basically access whatever he wants to. So,
well, no, not anything I want. Anything that is part of the public system of the ship.
Well, that you need, yeah.
Do you have a code locking out the pilot station, or the weaponry station, or the gunning station, or Theo's area, or any other place? Is the meditation room locked out?
No, of course not.
So, anyway, so Doctor, you said you have a reason for locking it. Perhaps you should present that reason, and then if it's logical, everyone can agree and we can move on.
Yes, Doctor. What is that reason?
Well, I've made alterations on it, and these are things that are my own property, and I don't want them to be used by anyone else.
The bioscanner is your own property?
No, but the alterations I made to it are.
Well, but if this is a piece of crew equipment, sure you can modify it and whatever, but that seems kind of selfish to go, well, I fiddled with some things, so this now, no one else can use this, since if it's the only one we've got, we're going to need to use it.
And I'll use it as most efficient as I can.
Right, but if you're not there, other people will need to use it, and as Longer pointed out, and if you've been injured and we need to use it on you, and you're unconscious, we're going to need to know how to use it. We're going to need to be able to use it. Sure, you can do it most of the time.
Is any of you medically trained?
Longer is. That's why he should be the second choice, but apparently you don't like that idea.
Are you?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, I'll make alterations. I'll change the alterations back, and I'll leave access. But well, I do not feel comfortable about the fact that you apparently broke into something that I locked.
Yeah, I would suggest next time that you ask him to unlock it ask people to unlock things before you break into them, even if you feel you have a right to access them.
You're not actually upset that I got into it because I have the password.
I'm not upset.
I modified it so that I could get into it no matter what. That's what bothers you, Doctor.
It bothers me that you didn't just ask me to unlock it. It bothers me that you forced my lock.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's so much because you didn't. It's not so much because you prevented it from being locked, even or circumvented his measures. It's that you didn't. Your first reaction was, "Oh, I'll just force it," which is a very kind of antisocial reaction. Of like the normal thing to do would be to ask someone, not to just.
From my point of view, is I modified it so that I could use it. The Doctor modified it for whatever reason he modified it for. If it's everyone's piece of equipment, I don't see any reason why.
Do you understand, though, even though you may not agree...
Yeah, do you at least understand why he's uncomfortable and that you should not do this stuff in future? Because I don't want this coming up as a problem between you and someone else again.
I understand that the Doctor is extremely paranoid.
If people
Zuko kind of throws his hands up and kind of walks
Blocking
towards
out.
the table.
This is not personal equipment. You're not asking. This isn't a piece of his gear or in his bunk or something. This isn't his weapon or his gun. When I leapt off my cot and attacked that robot to get it from killing him, I didn't say, perhaps I should just let it kill the doctor. Then I wouldn't have to worry about this problem in the first place. I risked my own life.
Slightly less. That's good. That's something that we can respect, and you made the right decision there. But if you can just ask somebody to do something for you instead of breaking things or circumventing what other people have done, you should do that. Even if you don't agree on that, that's kind of a social thing you need to accept to work in a crew. Otherwise, this stuff's going to keep happening, people are going to keep getting upset, and that's not good. It's a waste of time.
Any modifications I have to do with anything, I have to get permission to do.
No, but anything that counteracts or circumvents something someone else has done, you should at least ask for. If you then feel that they're denying you the right to do it. If I asked
and there was no reason, then I what? Then I have to come to you and complain to you?
Yes, that's what captains are for, to deal with crew problems. Specifically, Kazuko would be the one to deal with that stuff, but...
Oh, no.
If we were a traditional crew, then I would agree.
We are a traditional crew in that we have captains. Yes, we have 2 of them, but we have them for a reason. And if you have interpersonal problems with people, you bring in us to deal with them. Especially
I have no problems at all. I have nothing but the utmost respect for everyone on the ship. Everyone has shown great ability, especially the doctor.
But whether you're the one who is upset with someone else or they're upset with you, if it comes to something like this, you come to the captain who is responsible for that area, which would be Kazuko, and you get them to deal with it.
So Theo should have come to you first before making modifications to the scanner.
He modified the scanner? I thought you did, and the doctor and you. I didn't realize Theo had done it.
No, I'm sorry. The doctor. Price. Dr. Price. Modified the scanner, so he should have come to you before making any modifications.
I would have preferred if he had done that, yes. But
I'm the one who is wrong because I tried to correct what he did without permission.
But you both should have come to me or to Kazuko before you did anything to the scanner. Brett should have gotten permission to lock it because that could have upset you, and it did. And you should have gotten permission to unlock it, so to avoid this issue with the doctor. I don't want people coming to us behind, because if you had done that, then I could have gotten you and the doctor together immediately and not have the doctor come to me behind your back and try to implicate you in some sort of conspiracy to steal things or whatever.
I'm an adult. The doctor could have just asked me. I would have told him.
Right. But if we create this atmosphere of people being able to do whatever they want to communal equipment, then we create an atmosphere of even more suspicion than we already have, and that's
why is there suspicion?
Because we've had spies on board, we've had many unusual occurrences, and as you admitted earlier, this is not a typical crew.
24 hours ago, I had a reforming plan. I had no choice but to follow every maverick command that I was given. From the doctor, from Theo.
I know, so fine, you trust us, whatever, but apparently not everyone on the ship trusts each other. And that is to be expected when you have people of various different backgrounds and allegiances on the same ship.
Sounds like, Captain, that you should be speaking to everyone else but me. All I've done is restore an item to where it was previously. And then I've helped by creating combat suits that you mean. I've done the acid stuff.
Yeah,
I'm really confused as to what I'm supposed to do. I mean, maybe I'm psychotic. Maybe I'm doing everything wrong. Protecting the people. Yeah, maybe that's wrong. It seems. No, I think maybe that's right.
You're not psychotic in the same way maybe I am, where you don't consider people's lives, but you definitely seem to have a different view of certain things than is the social norm, and that in a ship where there's already potential friction issues between the crew due to trust or due to whatever, is something that you should maybe learn to deal with. In the same way I have to learn to keep my mouth shut in social situations, even when it's difficult, because I'm just going to make the situation worse. You have to learn to have a normal reaction to things, like ask people for permission for certain things, or come to me or Kazuko for permission for things, just so that we have very clear, this is what the regulations are, this is how you react to certain situations, so that we don't have various crew members coming to me, or even worse, not coming to anyone, and just building these paranoid ideas in their head, which could explode into whatever. I don't want our crew to devolve into paranoid psychosis, and which could explode at any moment into God knows what. We have enough problems outside the ship. We don't want problems inside the ship. I understand that that's the
I guess
problem.
if I'm here to be reprimanded, what laws are you laying down? What can I not do? And is it only for me? Or is this also for the doctor? Or is this for Theo? Perhaps we should all speak this together instead of this just being between the four of us.
Anyone who from now on, anyone who modifies public equipment, which shall be designated as any equipment that is left permanently in or semi-permanently in a public area, like equipment in the med area or the science area, equipment in the weapons room, equipment in the pilot room, that is not already defined as personal possession, like something that just fell out of your pocket, shall have to come to one of the captains and get permission to do it. And that change shall be public. The permission shall be public, so that no one will feel that anyone is modifying things behind their back. And if anyone has an objection to the modification being made, they can come to and discuss it either in front of the whole crew or with the other person in front of the captain or captains. That shouldn't take too long just to come to someone's cabinets or wherever they are and ask, hey, can I modify this? But it should sort of prevent people from getting overly paranoid about stuff. And I will publish this on the PA system as soon as while I'm doing it. Like, if there is anyone who isn't in the med bay at the time, I will hit the PA thing.
Yeah, that's Theo's still working on stuff.
Alright, so you hear that coming through intercom. I'm probably going, where did that come from?
Theo's been really busy, focused on his work, but while he's been doing that, as I throw down the message below, he'll actually head to the med bay, and he'll walk in there and he'll see that the device is unlocked. I don't think he actually knew if it was locked actually the whole time. I think he's been actually kind of oblivious to that.
I think that it is still locked, and I think Longbeer knows the code.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that right, John? Is that how
or
you have
he built himself a back door or something.
Yeah, I have the code because I had gotten that from Bryce earlier. But I used the code to put a back door in, basically, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I can get in and out. But yeah, I would use the code anyways, whenever I wanted.
As I go in there, I'll look about and I'll see the disgusting specimen on the tables laid out. I'll make a bit of a face at it. Pon, has this sample been scanned yet?
Yes, the sample has been scanned by both the doctor and Longbeer.
All right, I'm going to download some of the results on the state of bed real quick.
That's fine, I guess.
Then he'll just head right out and just be on his way. He'll have a hurried step as he goes about.
Okay, guys, we're running a little bit over here, so let's try to wrap something up. We're going to try to cook dinner and stuff. So, you guys are still talking in the lounge area?
Yeah. Colt will have his drink in his hand and kind of studying Longbeer with this. He has this knowing look in his eyes and nipping his teeth, and is interested to see how the captain and Longbeer are having this endless discussion about all kinds of things.
Right, I'm basically trying to help. I'm legitimately trying to help him because I see that he has the same issues that I do, or not the same exactly, but like the same thing. Like I have to do things that make no sense to me because they're social things, and you have to do things that make no sense to you because they're social things. So we kind of have I sympathize there, but I also sympathize with I, as the guy who would be happy to solve a lot of these issues, don't want to have a bunch of issues to solve every day. So.
Longbear sips his tea and says, well, I mean, now since we're just bringing stuff up, I guess I should throw this out there. I mean, there was no code on the bioscanner until the doctor removed my reform implant. That was added right around the same time.
Right, which shows that he's paranoid and doesn't trust you, and I kind of have a problem with that. I can't stop internal feelings, but I would ask Doctor that you not do anything, that you kind of back off on this constant suspicion. I believe that Longbeard has proven his loyalty and his trustworthiness multiple times now, and it is just getting tedious and causing problems for you to keep holding this cherished suspicion. So you could drop that. It would be helpful to everyone. I can't make you just a feeling, but...
Noted.
And Doctor, for my part, I still have no problem with what you did. I would totally probably lock it out myself. I mean, I was wearing a reform implant for a reason. So it's better to be safe, I guess. And I understand recording, too. That kind of makes sense as well. I don't agree, 100%, but I see why you would do it. Safety of the crew and all that.
Well, that is my primary intent, yes.
With that, I kind of put my cup down and reach out to shake your hand. The non-biomechanical one.
I shake your hand as well.
Good.
Thank you, Doctor. If maybe you can come back to the med bay and go over the results that I got for the mechanical combo symbiote creature.
I'd be very interested.
Is there anything else, Captain?
No, unless anyone else has drama to bring up, I'm done for the day.
Nope. Kazuko is just he's finding it very interesting that against the captain's I don't want to put it. He seems to be doing a very good job of negotiating and working things out. So
so my dream was right.
Yeah.
Oh, and as Longbear hands the cup back to Kazuko, thank you for the tea. Kazuko is very good. And I notice you keep staring at the stealth suit I'm wearing. Are you nervous about that? Do you know why I'm wearing it? You seem to want to ask me, but you never do.
I'm just wondering why you become so attached to it, and
because
why you feel the need for it.
The only clothes that I was giving were the 3 jumpsuits, and I really don't want to wear the jumpsuits. So I'm wearing the stealth suit, which actually I'm guessing it's kind of like a still suit kind of type deal.
Okay. I was just curious.
If you want, I can try to manufacturing some other... No. Well, I mean, it's also handy to have it on when something goes wrong, which seems to be happening on our ship all the time. Which is why I started making others for you guys.
No, that was it. Yep.
With that, Longbear actually does a slight kung fu bow toward you, hand over fist, then bows to the captain and walks out. Doctor, I'll meet you in the med bay whenever you're ready.
On my way.
A good cup of tea always helps the situation.
It does.
All right, guys, I'm changing my son, so if you want to continue for a little bit longer, that's fine. If you want to have a scene with the doctor and Longbeard in the med lab.
You mean a tense thing of them being cordial?
Yeah,
something like pretending to be okay with the whole situation. Sure, why not?
You guys do that. I gotta run actually, so I'll catch up to you guys later. I had a great time.
Okay, David, thanks for playing today.
You guys keep going. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Dave.
Have a good one.
Okay, all right, bye.
I wonder if we pass Alex on if we pass Theo on the way. Nah, probably not, right? You probably ducked around the corner.
I don't know. If you got, what do you think, Theo? What do you think, Phil?
I don't know. I think he was already back in the workstation by the time all this is done.
Okay, that's fine.
After he got though.
So we'll just do the Doctor and Longbeer in the mid lab, and we'll close it out.
Okay. Doctor, as you can see, this is the results that I have, which he hands you a small data chip that you can insert into your computer board. And then if we're all set, I'll wrap this disgusting thing up, and then we can jettison it, I guess. Or do you think we should burn it?
I think burning would be best.
Right.
You agree?
Probably. Yeah, hopefully that finishes it off completely.
Yeah, well, it should. Yeah, so.
With that, Longbeard grabs tongs and kind of half starts putting it into the giant can that he had brought to try not to gag. And then he shows you the plans for the little acid injectors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Impressive.
I'll have to give them to Theo to maybe manufacture. I don't really know how to manufacture them.
Yeah. I'm sure he has thoughts on that.
That once the creature is in the quote can, he'll seal it and then get it ready to take down to engineering, I guess. Or do we think we have a thermal? No, we have a thermal destroyer in here. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, for infected stuff.
Yeah, biohazard stuff.
Yeah.
He turns to Lunga turns to Bryce.
Colt.
Oh, I'm sorry, Colt. Jesus, Doctor, I don't really have any problems with what you did, and I mean that. I know you might think I just said that because we're in front of the captain, though. But I assure you, there was no reason for me. I'm not doing anything untoward or anything against it. I believe on the mission that we are on is extremely important to all humanity, not just Mavericks or Gungeon or Earthers or Spacers or any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 100% behind it.
Excellent. Me too.
So, hopefully, with that, he takes out all the stems and stuff he took and he puts them on the table. He's like, if you want to categorize them, keep them in here. That's up to you. I'll leave that. To me, that really is more doctored than anything. I just thought that we should have some of them on us just in case something happened.
I understand your.
But I should have let you know. Definitely.
So, I was just curious. The entire conversation with the captain, I kind of sit down and kind of put my feet on the desk, trying to appear casual. Is that the real you?
The real me?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be 100% honest, I'm not sure what is the real me right now, as I'm still dealing with memories coming back from the beamforming plant. It's like being, it's like being a 75 terawatt bulb in a 10 watt outlet. It's just so much information is being brought back to my attention. Yeah. I'm trying to process it, which is why I'm having trouble sleeping, I think. Or it's this energy that's flowing through us that's changing us, which I can't figure out any way. It doesn't seem to be affecting us in any way, but it definitely is.
I'm just going to put my cards on the table here, seeing as you probably did the same. I don't know you.
Fair. I don't think any of us know each other.
No, but I get a pretty good readout from everybody else except you. And I'm just going to be honest, that scares me.
I think it would be disconcerting. So, in a lot of ways, we kind of feel the same, as I don't get a reading from anyone on the crew. As everyone treats me strangely, as I went from being a villain, a robot basically on the ship, to a person, and no one really knows how to deal with me, or what to say to me, or how to treat me.
Exactly.
So I can understand.
I want to make it out here alive. I've got big plans for, well, my life. And I would hate to die.
Well, I would hate for you to die as well. But I don't think that's going to happen.
I hope so, because...
And we have other people that seem pretty effective on this ship.
No, but I'm just saying, you don't know yourself. You just said so. You're getting to know yourself.
Yes. Yep.
I'm worried if, I don't know, a darker side of you shows up and you start seeing things in different perspective. When I look at you now, I get the idea that you're a hard-working guy that's dealing with issues, but I don't know, it might change.
Maybe we should set up daily brain scans, maybe, to see if my brain patterns change too much. I'm willing to work with you if you think that there's a chance. I don't know, because I'm going through it, so I'm not really the best person to ask.
I'm just surprised the captain's notes, well, they seem perfectly all right with all of this.
Well, I think it helps that, destroying the robots, I think, and I've come up with a few good ideas, I think, lends them to think that I'm okay, 100%.
But you're a changing man. Nobody can change more than humans.
Well, I hope that what I change into is a combination of what our mission needs and what makes me back to who I was.
I hope so too, I honestly do, but, well, I've hoped for a lot of things, and very few of them have ever come true. And again, I hope that you're the exception, but I can't be sure about that.
Well, I think if there's anything you can do, keep an eye on me. You and I work the closest together, unless Theo needs help with something, which is very rare, if ever. Just if you think I start acting in a weird way, just bring it up again. And probably like you did, bring it up to the captain. I have no problem with you watching me. I think that's probably a good idea. And trust me, if everything I've read on the data net about the Red Scare, if it's all true, which I don't believe it all is, from my memories, then I don't know if I want to be that person. So if I have a chance to change who I am and become a better person, then I will do that.
Fair enough. All right. I can work with that.
Right. With that, Longbeard will reach out and shake your hand again. It's like, let's incinerate this beast of a creature.
Yeah, I'll give you the honors.
Thanks. He kind of rolls the can over and puts it into the machine and pushes the red button. And hopefully that's the last we ever see of Jalen.
Yeah, fate's willing.
All right, that's probably a good place to break, as the Jalen cybernetic centipede creature parts go floating out into the void of space. All right, so I guess we'll start with let's see, what will we start with Ro here today? About thoughts about today's session.
Yeah, I had a good time. I again was taken a bit out of my comfort zone to do the old guy thing and the dreamscape, and I was impressed by your skill and that of Philip to do the dream scenes, and it was like, oh man.
Well, I guess to be fair, Phil's gone through the Lamentations game with me, so I mean we did a lot of that.
Oh, that was just impressive, and I was like, wow. I was like, okay, well, I didn't want to, because the scenes you guys seem to work off of each other so well. I kind of hated to interject in it and like, oh, I need to do my stuff too. You were like egging us on, like, come on guys, say something. And I was like, yeah, but it's just fine the way it is. And I would just be saying something to add to it for, giving you the feeling that I would add something to it. So, I would have been perfectly fine with the two of you just doing those dream scenes, but, that's just this is me, and I love how the Doctor and Longveer are getting around with each other, and that's just cool. And it's John, compliments on your role playing. That was awesome. I love it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was cool. When he was put up against the wall, basically, and I was like, oh, you caught me, and he's like, but this makes perfect sense. Why shouldn't I access it? I thought that was great.
Yeah. And you actually convinced me, so. Then again, the one person the captain can get along with and understand is Long, because he, does, like, you have some of the same issues he does of not really fitting in socially and having weird ideas about things, and people not trusting you. So, like, when the Doctor was saying, like, nobody else, or when Long was saying, like, nobody else seems to really react normally to me or anything, like, I do. You're the one person I react normally to.
How funny is that the Red Scare and the most loyal Ganjin have so much in common.
Are like best buds, bromance.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's tempered by that fact. But I think that is the potential way for you to win me over to your side if you can actually give me proof that you're right. It's going to take a lot, but because I won't just take your word for it, but I started out like, fuck you, you are terrorist against my government, and then, like, I still don't agree with your cause, but I respect you as part of the crew now, and I sympathize with some of your issues. So, you have an in if you can provide me with some evidence.
Yeah, I mean, my vice is pride, so.
Well, mine was...
Everything I do...
I think I put it technically as pride, but it's basically both.
That's cool. Let's see here. So, how about you, Phil? What you think about today?
Oh, it was awesome. I like our different sequences that we did. It was definitely something new. To add on with the dream sequence, I actually used to start off a lot of my campaigns with the dream sequence. Like, I do it just to throw them for a loop. That would describe all these things going on, and the session would kind of look like it would have a lot of lag on it, and there'd be a lot of momentum being lost. But then, come the next session, I tell them that they wake up, and then their minds are kind of blown by it.
Nice.
That sounds fun.
So that's usually what I like to do. I like the crew dynamics here. Things are coming to a head, and Tim, you said last week that you were up for some suggestions for episodes and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I've been writing down a list of those. I'm still writing them down now, but I'll have those up.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, if you could post them up, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm. I must have missed that. I'll have to write some stuff down.
Yeah, if you guys have any suggestions or whatever, I'm open to steal your ideas.
Yeah, I've got like 12 written down right now.
Oh wow, nice.
I wanted to have like I'm gonna have like more than that.
Yeah, like today with the old guy clones thing, I just popped into my head. I'm like, yeah, let's just go with that, see what happens.
What was the setup for that? Was it something was happening in current time and the cloning machine went weird again?
No, it was far flung in the future. They were like, I think Rohir was the 45th clone of himself, and he was just batshit crazy. It was great. He had experimented on himself, but the idea was to jump the time ahead. And I told the guys, it's like, just tell about these stories about the good old days, and that'll sort of plot some stuff that I have to deal with, So like I think Phil mentioned that you guys were all captured by the she and experimented on.
Jesus. Thanks, Phil.
Thanks a lot, man.
Hey, no problem. No problem.
Here to help. And they actually met she merchant, and that didn't end up so well for them. But well, I guess it did and it didn't. They didn't get arrested, but they got captured by a bunch of mercenary she. They were pretending to be merchants. So, But yeah, I should have the audio up in the next couple days, or so you can listen back if you want.
Yeah, I'll listen to that.
Okay, let's see here. Alakov, you jumped at the end. What'd you think?
I liked it. I liked my dream thing. I had the same reaction to the other dream sequences that Rohir did of just, I was at first, oh yeah, I can do this, and then like, wait, you're going in a completely different direction than I'm comfortable adding to. I was fine with it. Didn't creep me out or anything more than it should have, but it was just nothing I could really contribute to. So I was happy to just sit and wait.
Well, I just like dreams because you can really do anything. Like it's just,
I am major advocate that if you could put a dream sequence or an acid trip or something into your game, it's the most fun you can have as a GM because you can just go crazy with it. But I tend to lean more towards the one time I did it, I tried to have a scary scene and it just turned into silliness. So.
Well, you'd have silly dreams too.
Yeah, but I didn't want to, with you starting off everything going towards horror, I didn't want to screw it up by, going, then weird whimsical stuff starts happening and it becomes passionate.
No, I was completely open to whatever you guys were going to throw at in the dream. I thought.
Yeah, I was just observing the improv ethic of not blocking and counteracting each other. But I did like the little White Rabbit reference with the, very appropriate.
Okay, John, you jumped in at the very end. Any thoughts?
Yeah. I can't wait to listen to your guys' game. I was able to hear some, I had my speakers on, and I was in, so I was able to hear some of the beginning with the bar, and then I had to go do the stuff I had to do, so I was like, oh man, so now I'm excited to go listen to it all. And then when I came back with the dream sequences, I caught the end of Alex's, and that was cool, so that's pretty exciting, and I'm so happy with, I was so happy that the doctor confronted me, because nobody's confronted me with anything so far that's happened. So that made me able to kind of open up and show how analytical Longbear is, because he's still dealing with his personality, which obviously Rohir brought up, which is so awesome. I'm segmented, and it's hard for me to. So all I can do is go with the most basic lines of. I wasn't even joking when I'm saying, should I have let him die? I'm not sure. I think I made the right decision, and it seemed great. But now things are starting to things get really bad, then I have to reevaluate how I will make my decisions. And hopefully he'll clear up and be better.
And that's exactly why I can empathize, because I'm having to do the same thing. How am I supposed to feel about this? How am I supposed to react to this? Not by shooting things generally, which is my first instinct.
I like that some of the fences are being mended between some of the different characters. So, they might break down again. But
see whether the whole me becoming more diplomatic thing was just because I was talking to Longbeer and I understand him, or whether it was actually my, getting better. And out of character, that's just completely down to my playing. The whole him becoming a sociopath and everything, that's all because I tried and failed to play him diplomatically. So, I need an excuse for that. So if my skills in that area come back as a player, I'll be able to play him more like I initially wanted to. But it is nice because I was going in not wanting to be the typical social character that I usually play. It doesn't mean that the majority of my sheet is useless because I put all tons of points into social stuff. But at least I'm getting to play a different kind of character for once.
You know what I like is that the stealth suit, that whole thing, I've been wearing it since I got it. Honestly, the only reason that Longbear is wearing it, besides the combat, because remember it was in the machine I put it on when we went into combat before, is that he only has the 3 sets of jumpsuits, the prison jumpsuits, and he doesn't really want to wear them. But when he's working on stuff, he's going to put them on, and because he doesn't want to get the stealth suit dirty.
Plus,
so
he has
that's his clothes.
That pride thing. He probably doesn't want to ask for help.
Yeah, and I want to look right. Because I'm pride, you know what I mean? I want to look professional, powerful, and I want to project an image of strength. And wearing that prison outfit is not copacetic for him. So it really has nothing to do with. It's really just about him. It has nothing to do with combat or anything like that.
I thought it was so you could stealth out and shoot yourself if you were captured again or something. Because you mentioned this before.
Or I disagreed with the doctor. I could just stealth suit and kill him or something.
Yeah. That's still a possibility, I guess.
No.
Yeah, and I love that the doctor's like, why are these guys being idiots and accepting you?
Yeah, that's just. I noticed the fact that often happens in role-playing groups. People in real life hardly know each other, and no, we're completely fine with each other, and I trust you with my life. And I'm like, these people are pretty much strangers to me, and my character wants to live a long life, preferably several. So,
He's not his 45th clone.
I trust Long because I identify with him because of the whole sociopath not understanding social cues thing. And with the other characters, I trust you, although obviously my whole dream was about not trusting you enough. Or at least I feel like, in the military you're used to getting shoved onto a new ship with a bunch of crew you don't know and having to deal with them. So this is because you're not all Ganjin, this is a little more extreme than that, but I still have some ability to deal with it, and the way I've been dealing with it is just going, you are my crew, I will deal with you, I will protect you, I will deal with you as if you are a loyal crew until you prove otherwise, and hopefully by leading by example, I can sort of set a tone for the entire crew to be like that, which is how I feel like a captain should be.
Theo trusts Longbeard because as soon as he found out, I kind of hinted at this, as soon as he found out that he was a rebel, he kind of smiled. He's like, "Yeah, I understand that. Go him," because he's against the Ganjin stuff. He's not exactly doesn't quite trust Ganjin all the way. He doesn't quite trust Earthers, but he knows a rebel when he sees one. And when he found out there was one, he was like, "Oh, okay, this guy's good. He's not some serial killer. My kind of guy."
Nice.
Yeah, the stories. The stories are quite different than the truth, I guess, when it comes to Red Scare.
Given that the thing you were caught for was just basically doing the exact same thing I did, I'm like, I don't agree with your cause, but I look at you as much of a soldier as I am at this point. Like, you are fighting against your own government. I don't like that. You are a traitor, but you're fighting for ideals, and you're fighting in pretty much the same way I would. So if they considered you to be breaking rules, but then they would have considered me to be breaking the same rules. So same as with Theo. Like, what initially was a sticking point of you're a rebel against my country became, well, but you're a warrior that I can respect on the same level. So just like any other, just like the Mavericks, is like, okay, you're at war with me, but you're on the same level. So okay.
There's probably a leadership thing too. I mean, if I was a political leader and I had people following me, this is probably a certain amount of.
Yeah, and
I hope that he comes across that way, that you can see that he'll speak to people trying to get them to not join his cause, but people should feel lax and calm around him because that's the way he just acts all the time.
Yeah, and I kind of do. That was rubbing off on me as a player, just the way you were playing it, and you were the one defending me, the one respecting me when everybody else was like, "You're a crazy sociopath of doom, and we should just get rid of you."
Right, like I wear your badges. These are all things that he'll probably do to ingratiate you towards it.
Yes, which is completely working. And I'm totally aware of it being a manipulation, and I don't care.
I love the way you said that because I got a chill down my spine when you said that. That was awesome. All right, I'm gonna have to get going here, guys.
Right.
But, thanks for playing today. I had a lot of fun myself.
Thanks for keeping it playing longer. It was nice to get in there and actually play a little bit.
Yeah, I was hoping you were gonna jump in at the end. I wasn't sure. So.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thanks for that, guys. All right, guys. Good night.
All right, I'll see you guys next week then.
Y'all have a good one.
Okay, bye.